Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with Tru Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
What's up, Tru Heel Heat? Tru Heel Heat. What's up? Tru Heel Heat. All hands is on me.
Hey guys, this is Rosa and welcome to Tru Heel Heat.
What's going on, everybody? This is your former AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Once a champion, always a champion. Swerve Strickland. Whose house? Swerve's house. You're watching Tru Heel Heat podcast.
It is so much drama in the AEW. It's kind of hard being Snoop, Tony, but somehow, some way, he keeps coming up with funky ass matches seemingly every single day. We are here for another edition of our flagship podcast. It is time for the Saturday morning cookout. And yes, indeed, we got a lot firing up on the barbecue, on the cookout this morning because AEW is full of drama at this point. Tony Khan reportedly finished using Britt Baker in AEW. Ricky Starks being denied his AEW release. Rey Fenix is stuck in Guantanamo Bay. Meanwhile, over in WWE, they got their pair of drama itself. Alexa Bliss in a contract negotiation dispute that has led to her return plans being scrapped. Nikki Bella may be on her way back to WWE after being savagely and heart-wrenchingly eliminated from the Traitors. The Bambis is the worst freaking reality TV alliance that I ever seen. Chriselle, you're not loyal. You're like P. Diddy in the club with Shine, you rotten bitch. Hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. We are live on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for Tru Heel Heat 313 Dismissed Dentists, discussing the latest wrestling news, including Tony Khan being finished with Dr. Britt Baker DMD in AEW after a history of locker room issues, Ricky Starks being denied his AEW release amid his months-long TV absence, Nikki Bella WWE return confirmed, while Alexa Bliss's return is scrapped. Recap of this week in wrestling, including AEW Dynamite featuring Hurt Syndicate winning the AEW World Tag Team titles. You had Collision featuring Hangman Page ending Christopher Daniels' career. You had ROH TV, WWE Raw on Netflix featuring Kevin Owens confronting Sami Zayn for the first time since the OG Bloodline reunion. NXT featuring Obafemi defending the NXT Championship for the first time. The People versus GCW last Sunday featuring PCO shooting on TNA. TNA Genesis, where the fans think Tessa is a racist and Joe Hendry becomes TNA World Champion. Too late? TNA Live Impact was this week as well, featuring Mustafa Ali's return to the company. Plus, we got final predictions for Saturday night's main event. And the gang is back. The trio is back here this week. Join us back-to-back weeks. The princess of all the Tru Heels, Miss Krssi Love.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. What's happening, peeps? SP, the Bambies did exactly what was needed to be done. I'm so sorry.
No, don't they?
Oh my God.
They suck. They trash. They're not loyal. No loyalty. No loyalty. They did not do what they were supposed to do. Christian. Yeah. Oh, I saw your face. Your vibe.
See, SP, this is what happens when you don't want energy. That type of person. Chriselle has always been. She's never been loyal to anybody but herself. See that you don't know that part of Chriselle. That's why you don't know who she is. So she's only going to stand loyal to herself. So I'm not surprised about what they did to her, and rightfully so. I think this group of traitors are all dumb and stupid because they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Well, I mean, the traitors are dumb, but the faithful ain't that bright either.
That's what I'm saying. No, I'm talking about the whole cast in general. They don't know how to play this game. If you look at past season and look at this season, they are just like ass backwards. Danielle, I hope she get caught next week because
oh my God, Danielle. This is probably the worst job a traitor has done.
The worst traitor ever. I cannot wait till Bob and the other girl get rid of her because she is just dumb. And she thinks that she's doing such a fantastic job.
And then she's trying to go after my girl, Caroline.
Caroline has been doing her job with no problem. Been underneath the radar, been chilling.
The best traitor, and Danielle says, hey, I got to get rid of her so I can get a traitor I can work with to get rid of Rob. How does that make sense? Anyway.
That would be your ally. They would be perfect. She would be helped. No one can see her coming. That's the perfect part. And Danielle's so dumb that she does not get that. But anywho.
Yeah.
Caroline would be the perfect person to get Rob out. But no, you just think that you just want to be the head ruler. I swear, she's going to get caught so bad by next week or the week after. I cannot wait till they crucify her.
This is why Big Brother players don't do well on this show. But that is our traitors discussion for the day. Yeah. We appreciate y'all. And we also got with us back after his 1 week hiatus. He was very, very regretful in missing out, especially on our champions talk last week. Is the true draw, Josh? How are you doing, sir?
Missed last week. Feels weird just because I'm gonna miss next week too. So I'm here for a quick one, I guess you could say.
You're on your Krssi Love schedule.
Yeah.
1 week in, 1 week off.
Yeah, man, because usually sometimes when it's like convention season, I got to pick and choose what days I'm going. And next weekend I'm going to a Yankee convention, and the Saturday is stacked up. So I was like, "Fuck, I got no choice."
You have like a convention email, and they just give you like all the list of like dates and times of when conventions are happening. Is that like a thing? See,
yeah.
Okay, so that's the thing. Okay.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, but I usually just follow social media like that. Okay. I always keep up to date, and usually, like if I go to a past event, I just follow them and then go from there. So I'm usually on top of things. There's a lot that I don't go to. I have to pick and choose which ones I really want to go to. That's basically what it is.
you have it. But we appreciate y'all for joining us live. Y'all for watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back. This is possible. Drop the thumbs up on this video. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you guys, hear your thoughts on this week in pro wrestling and everything going on, news, the matches, the shows, whatever it was you want to discuss. You could talk about it in the live chat. But of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you want to make sure your comment is highlighted on screen, you can do that with a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here, and we always appreciate the support. We got Eric Isaacs in the chat who says, hey, THH fam, can't wait for the Saturday Night War tonight between WWE Saturday Night's Main Event and AEW Homecoming Collision in Jacksonville. Oh, and Joe Hendry is TNA champ at last.
You got it right, friend. I meant to hit you up on that one. It was like you got most of them right.
I did. I think I was perfect for Genesis.
Were you perfect?
I think I was.
Okay.
Might be one. But Cyclops is better than Wolverine says, my little cousin Kyra was on a reality TV show like 2 years back called Love Island. Oh, I think I know who that is. Was it Love Island UK or US? That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. And I'll be like, I know your cousin. I've seen your cousin. We also got a not a super chat, but a member chat here from Vala B, who has been a member for 19 months. One of our leaders in the chat. Appreciate you, Vala B. He says, this was a fine week of wrestling. Absolute dog water week for the IWC. Yes, if you haven't already, if you're a member of the channel, you could go over and check out me and Josh talking about the week that was in the IWC and why it is cooked. If you don't know, you're better off not knowing. But you also got in the chat here, Chuck Berry says, good morning, THH fam. Damn, SP3 about to crash out the opening monologue. I know that this show about to cook. Yes, because the Bambis fucking suck. They are fucking trash. I don't care. Chriselle is not loyal. She's a dummy. Oh, I go off the feeling. I go off the vibes. Well, your vibes and your energy and and all that bullshit, it's just nonsense. You're just saying words.
Y'all look dumb.
And then she tells her theory to fucking Boston Rob. Like this, are these people dumb? Is West the only one that is smart? You got Ivar going to fucking Boston Rob being like, West, he had a theory that you're the only way you could know a traitor is if you are a traitor. He told you that in confidence, and you went right to the person he was talking about? Are all these people dumb? Like, literally, yes. West has to wait, and he can't even bring up Boston Rob for, like, he's going to have to go, like, multiple round tables because he's surrounded by dumb people. Thankfully, Derek started catching on at the end there, so it's just like so fun. This show is sometimes frustrating to watch. It is
like this episode was like really
when they did the votes and everybody's saying Nikki, I'm just like, yeah, motherfuckers got it. I was like, at least Dylan. I'm convinced that the faithful win, Dylan's gonna be the winner.
Okay, fair. And then they keep getting rid of the wrong people. They get rid of the wrong people.
The only reason they got a traitor is because of another traitor.
The only reason. Well, you're getting rid of the wrong people when to murder. Like, and they not listening to Caroline. Caroline's been trying to tell every person that gets murdered. I don't even know how they convincing them. Like, okay, well, I guess it's 2 against 1, but whatever. They still,
that was dumb to kill Robin because she's a dummy.
Right, Robin is a dummy.
The wrong name. Like that's the person that you want to keep around. Because she's loud and wrong. Usually.
Loud and wrong all the time. I mean, I'm not a Robin fan either. That's why I was like, well, the 2 people that I really don't like are off the show anyway, so that's great. So whatever. Can't stand Robin. Can't stand Nikki Bella, Brie, whatever the fuck her name is.
How dare you? How dare you? You were supposed to be rooting for Nikki Bella.
Why? Because she was from wrestling?
Yes, WWE.
Nigga. I know you lying.
I am supporting that outfit. She was serving in that outfit. She did good on the first round table. That first round table when West came after her. She did not do good on this round table. I will say that.
Yeah, she gave up. She was like, "I'm just happy to go see my son." This is probably when the stuff happening with her man was going on. So
yeah, no, she probably came back to that shit. I don't know. We don't know. We don't know. I don't know the timeline. I don't know when they went out and filmed this. So we got to see. But yeah, interesting. It is interesting. We do have a super chat donation here from Vala B. Thank you so much, Vala B, for the support as always, good sir. He says, I'm also drop this about GCW. The show name was pretty on point. It looked like a lot of points. GCW was picking a fight with me. Yes. The whole entire Matt Cardona angle on the People versus GCW was GCW saying fuck you to their fans.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, fuck you. It's midnight. We don't care. We're going to do this 10, 12-minute angle that doesn't make any sense, that doesn't have any heat, that's stupid. Fuck you. That's basically what they said. And then they had an overly long 20-minute main event on top of that. So the show didn't end until 12:35 midnight, 12:35 a.m. on a Sunday, which is technically Monday morning. But here we are. We got also Follow B who says Airgold was always dog shit and deserved what he got. We also got Cyclops is better than Wolverine. Airgold is a complete piece of shit, but bro went in on him hard just to be exposed to be doing the same shit. But worse is crazy. I love the internet wrestling community. It's a mess. It's fucking high school. It is fucking high school drama. The internet wrestling community in a nutshell, to be fair. But we got a lot of wrestling to get into. But before we do that, we want to shout everybody else, everybody supporting us across social media and here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel with our Tru Heel roll call. Our top 3 conversation starters from our Tru Heels group page, our Tru Heel Trinity. We got Jermaine Packman, Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting, and Stewie John Palmer. Our Patreon backers, Vala B, ALW, Negro Buck, Nick Jackson, Alex McCarthy, Professor Chris, Trey, Robert, Steve, Ladarius, Dan, Kobe, Dolores, John Martin, Marcus, James, Alan, and Santo. Thank you so much for supporting us over at patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content. The best way to support us when we are not live here. But let's get into, guys, what we miss. And we're going to start off with AEW Dynamite this week. AEW Dynamite did 655,000 viewers over on TBS. The show featured Will Ospreay going face-to-face with Kenny Omega about uniting to do battle with the Don Callis family. After Omega told Ospreay that he's number 2 behind him, Don Callis came out, and it led to Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher coming out to attack Omega. When he tried to attack Don, Ospreay helped Omega, and they fought off the Don Callis family around the building, ending with a big stereo dive between both men, big spectacular moonsaults off the stands and a lighting rig. Omega and Ospreay, who started off this segment with Omega saying he would never team with Ospreay. All you have to do is jump off a high place with your friend, and now you're besties. As Omega, him and Ospreay will challenge Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher at Grand Slam Australia coming up on February 15th. So an electric opener to the show. Speaking of Grand Slam, my other favorite part of the show, including some little storytelling as Harley Cameron, Australia's own, interrupted Toni Storm, who was talking her AEW Women's World Championship matchup. After Storm gave her the idea, Harley then confronted TBS champion Mercedes Moné and performed an absolutely fantastic original song talking about riding the money train, the money train, the money train to face Mercedes for the TBS championship at Grand Slam. However, Moné turned down Harley's challenge because she still has not won a match in AEW. Adam Copeland beat pack in the main event. Post-match, you had Jon Moxley and the Death Riders. They tied up and attacked FTR and the Rock and Roll Express backstage. The D Riders then came to the ring to jump Cope until Switchblade Jay White attempted to make the save, only to be overwhelmed by the numbers. Yeah, the D Riders. That's their name.
I was gonna wait till he came back on
the D Raiders. Yes, the D Riders. The D Riders stood tall to end the show. This was flat. Jamie Hayter, she picked up the win over Giulia Hart in a rock solid bout, much better than their first match. Post-match, Hayter put over Giulia. We also got a vignette for the newly christened Hounds of Hell, the former House of Black, Brody King, Buddy Matthews, and Giulia Hart, who said they will bark together. Swerve Strickland defeated AR Fox in a pretty fun matchup. Post-match, you had Ricochet. He took Chris Nana hostage with the gold scissors to send a message to Swerve. Jeff Jarrett called out Jon Moxley and got Claudio Castagnoli for his troubles. Jarrett then challenged Claudio for next week, and if Double J wins, he will get his shot at the AEW World Title. Meanwhile, the man he's been going back and forth with over the last couple of weeks later in the show, MJF, cut a promo talking down Jarrett until Hangman Adam Page came out for his match to interrupt. He faced off with Max, teasing a possible rivalry between the two. Hangman picked up a squash win. Post-match, Christopher Daniels came out to let him know that he is being forced to retire thanks to their Texas death match on AEW Collision Maximum Carnage, leaving Page confused and conflicted. And then finally, it was the Hurt Syndicate who beat Private Party to finally win the AEW World Tag Team Championships because they hurt people. They hurt people. Hurt Syndicate, one of the better acts in AEW right now, winning some gold here. So big title change on the show. Krssi Love, what did you think about this week's AEW Dynamite?
It started off great. It had some great middle parts, and then the ending was just flat for me.
No, for me as well. The Death Riders aren't working. We talked about it last week. We talked about the week before. Talked about the week after before that. Ever since Full Gear, the Death Riders thing has not worked.
Yes. So Harley is me and you. We said it. We're Harley stans. I love her. Like I stand for her. And I hope she keeps losing because that's the whole gimmick of it all. It's so funny. Like she's trying, and they won't. And when she do get that win, everyone's gonna go crazy. Watch.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get it in the next couple of weeks. She's got to get at least a win before Grand Slam if she's gonna face Mercedes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's gonna happen. Josh, what about you? What did you think about Dynamite this week?
I enjoyed it. Great opening. There's a great opening segment all around. Remember last time how it was like that, like hot, like that whole thing ended up working out. Like
something good.
Yeah, and there was a lot of people who tried to shit on it. Dave LaGreca complaining about it, saying like he feels like it's rushed, it's too soon. At the same time, I'm like, this shit was not going to drag out into Revolution. I don't need this to drag out to Revolution. Just have both guys pair up, right? Australia, Grand Slam. That's a big show down there. I'm fine with that, right? If it means Kenny Omega does something at Revolution, I'm all for that. And again, it worked. The whole angle worked. And, both guys are on the same page. I enjoyed the shit out of it. And, I think the tag team match is going to be great too. You have all four guys who know how to work. So that's going to be fun no matter what. So I didn't find that to be like a big deal. I enjoyed it. I don't give a fuck anybody thinks about that. And then everything else, like you said, Harley's been great. Every time she's on TV, she's been maximizing her minutes in the best way possible because she don't even need to win matches. Like that's the whole point of the gimmick, and I like it. And then other things that they, like you said, like the main event, it ended up falling flat. It was a solid thing, a solid match itself, but the whole angle itself after, it was just like we get it at this point. Yeah, you know, you want the heels to stand tall, but it's like it didn't do much for me. I'm just over it. I'm just like, pivot. Find some way to fucking pivot. Just give Kenny Omega the title. That's where I'm at with the whole fucking angle. And it's just, again, when it comes to the Death Riders angle, you know, this is becoming like an all-time bad for AEW. Like, we're talking about angles, and it's becoming all-time bad. And it's the fact that because not only is dragging, but then it's like, what the fuck are we waiting for? And I think this even before everybody started shitting on it, where I even told SP3 myself, I'm like waiting for something, and it's like, okay, when are we gonna get it? And it feels like this is where Vortex has been for Death Riders, where I'm just like, okay, you're supposed to be this big stable that's supposed to be taking over the company, and haven't really done that either. You know, you have a guy who looks like an emo in the group, who's more over than the leader.
You know what?
I'm just saying.
We're talking
Will
about
is more over than John Moxley. Yeah, he's more over than John Moxley at the moment, and that's a problem. Like that alone, it's a problem. So, you know, when it comes to that, you know, I'm over it. I'm just getting to a point where it's just like, all right, like, can we just wrap this shit up, or like, what the fuck are you planning to do? I think TK is in a situation where I think he's trying to let these guys work, or, you know, have these ideas, because apparently this is John Moxley's idea, right? This is what he wanted to do. But then I'm just like, John, what is your fucking idea at this point? Like, what are you trying to do? So then if I'm a boss, I'm gonna have to put my foot down on that, because I'm just like, bro, this shit ain't going nowhere. What are you like? You know, like
he's the head.
Yeah, like, you know, like, I appreciate
it's not entertaining, it's not engaging
Yeah.
week to week. So
I'm
you're
like,
not building yourself up to be this insurmountable final boss heel that you think that you're doing. You're not doing that.
And
You're just dragging along, and you're hurting your reputation. Like John Moxley before the last couple of months was universally kind of seen as a positive to AEW. Nothing he's done in his entire AEW run has been as negatively received as this.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like, you know, sometimes as a boss, you know, one way I could appreciate TK wanting wrestlers to have like their creative like ideas. At the same time, it's okay to be a boss and put your foot down and say, okay, this shit's not working. Let's do something else. Like, it's okay. You're gonna hurt feelings. At the end of the day, you're the boss. You have to hurt feelings sometimes. And that's where I'm at when it comes to that. But overall, I mean, I enjoyed the show. Hurt Syndicate winning the tag titles is the right call. It's just unfortunate that it happened with Private Party, because we've been saying, you know, their run hasn't been great, and you know, it was no fault.
Private Party. Now that it's over, we can officially say Private Party is the worst AEW World Tag Team Champions of all time.
No, it is. And
not the worst.
And I'm saying, and it's the worst. And it's unfortunate because it's like,
yes, because I did talk about this on AEW Rumble. I was like, the demise of the AEW World Tag Team Championships, you can go all the way back. You know what was the feud? Can y'all guess what was the demise? What was the feud that started the whole demise of the AEW World Tag Team division? Do y'all want to go back? Do y'all remember?
Yes, please. I don't remember. Please enlighten me.
The Acclaimed and the Guns in 2023. I was like, we had the whole, you know, FTR had like a 6-month run in 2023, and that was good, but that was more of an exception and an outlier in the whole thing. Really, the demise really started at like that feud. Once you have two undercard tag teams feuding for your titles, you are defining it down. So no matter how much great work that FTR did when they are having this great run, and then it's ended by a makeshift team like Ricky Starks and Big Bill, it's just a comedy of errors. Like, they've had these bright spots. They've had the FTR reign in 2023. You had the Sting and Young Bucks program ahead of Revolution, and that was great. And even the ladder match between the Young Bucks and FTR was great. And a lot of the Young Bucks title defenses were great, but there has not been a surge of momentum for the tag team division dating back all the way to the Acclaim versus Swerve in Our Glory. That's really the last time the tag team division had really a great amount of momentum, and it felt like an accomplishment when a team won those tag team titles.
Yeah, and then what I was saying, it was like, with Private Party, I was like, it's no fault of their own. I was like, obviously, it just sucks because I was like, I expected more and I expected better, and we got the complete opposite. And unfortunately, they're in a situation where, I'm off for going with the Hurt Syndicate at the moment as tag champions. Again, it's like kind of, you could say, bittersweet, because it's like, I think Lashley and Sheldon are fit for that, and the way that they've been using the Hurt Syndicate, it makes sense. But then it was on the expense of Private Party, and that's why it sucks. But
they had enough. They had a good.
I mean, I'm all for it. I like,
it
was basically a one-sided match, and they won the titles, and Lashley was even excited. Because I think Lashley forgot.
It was an 80-20. It was an 80-20 match.
No, I'm saying almost.
They got the hot run at the beginning. Then they cut them off. Then they got the hot run, made the comeback after the hot tag, and then they cut them off again, and they lost. That was
I'm saying, like,
that was exactly what it needed to be. Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin were working like they were the Road Warriors meet the Steiners, and they all had an orgy with one black lady. Like that's how they were working.
Yo, and I think Lashley forgot he was a heel because he was like celebrating with the fans after, so it was bad funny.
It's fine. He's enjoying.
He was like taking pictures with the fans.
That's the problem.
He had the belt out. He had the belt out, and I think like a fan asked for like a picture or something, and he like took a picture with them. I was like, I think somebody was like, "Bro, you're supposed to be heel. What are you doing?" But I thought it was funny. Like it was hilarious.
That was his first time winning tag team titles in his career.
And they said it too. They was like, he's never won one. I was like, oh yeah, they're definitely winning.
No, but also, they're enjoying themselves. They're doing great stuff. All those guys. Sheldon, I mean, he's the one that's benefited the most because, man.
Oh, this what has it been? 3-4 months is better. The first 4 months of him in AEW is better than his last 4 years in WWE. No question. You couldn't even tell me what he did his last 4 years in WWE outside of Hurt Business. But let's talk about the big news of the week, because I think that was even bigger than AEW Dynamite this week. I do agree with Josh and Krssi. It was a good show of Dynamite this week, but that's not what everybody was talking about, because on Monday, PW Torch's Wade Keller reported that Dr. Britt Baker DMD may be on her way out of All Elite Wrestling, as Tony Khan and the locker room are said to be frustrated with her. This has led to Khan not booking her on television. Her last match was in November, in which she defeated Penelope Ford. The rumor is that Baker has become difficult to work with in recent months, and another quote-unquote a minor incident became quote-unquote the straw that broke the camel's back for removing her from television. According to the report, Khan has her in a group of wrestlers who don't get phone calls or aren't called in to show up. Presumably, that would be wrestlers like Miro or Ricky Starks, who haven't been on television in months, but the report doesn't mention who else is in that category. Britt Baker is said to be, quote-unquote, wildly unpopular in the women's locker room. One source noted that no one in that locker room wants her to come back. It was reported back in August that Baker was suspended after an incident with MJF. However, MJF himself pushed back against those reports, calling them overblown. That alleged incident, along with other issues that have come up, are the reason for her absence. It was noted that she had a reputation for being hard to work with anyway, and that has only increased recently. There was said to be one incident in particular in which people just threw their hands up, and there is said to be a feeling that their company has a strong women's division and they no longer need to deal with her. The end of her relationship with Adam Cole is not the reason for what's going on, and there is likely no heat on Cole as he has nothing to do with her not being on television. Tony Khan is just quote-unquote fed up with Baker and wants to focus TV time on other people. It's unknown what this means for her contract or pay, but she is not expected to be back in AEW anytime soon. Then we got a new report from the Wrestling Observer that claims of Britt Baker being potentially on her way out of AEW is quote-unquote overblown. F4W Online notes that according to Brian Alvarez, the reports that Baker may be done with the company are not accurate. Alvarez reports that according to multiple people within AEW, the stories are blown out of proportion, and that while she is not used and there are not imminent plans for her to be used, there is nothing to the notion that she is finished there. Brian Alvarez reported more details on Britt Baker's during Tuesday's Wrestling Observer Radio. Meltzer noted that when reaching out to individuals regarding Baker's status, it was quote, it was not a subject that a lot of people wanted to talk about. He added that the story on Baker has a kernel of truth to some of it, but it was blown out of proportion, way out of proportion. As noted, following the initial report, Alvarez later reported that multiple people within AEW said it was being blown out of proportion. Alvarez added on Wrestling Observer Radio on Tuesday, there are people in AEW that don't like Britt. The idea that nobody in the locker room likes Britt is absolutely not true. With regards to why Baker isn't being used on TV right now, Alvarez stated, most people don't know why. Ultimately, it's Tony's decision whether she's going to be used or not. Additionally, Alvarez said that of the individuals in AEW he spoke to, including ones who speak with Tony Khan, nobody said she's not coming back. Also, Alvarez stated that Britt Baker is still under contract with AEW for quote unquote for quite some time. During a recent talk with DDP on his YouTube channel, Gauntlet, the former AEW Women's World Champion stated that she's been off AEW TV due to some outside projects. She says, I'm filming some stuff. Can't wait to tell everybody what it is. It's on the down low for now, but it's really exciting and it's cool. It's really cool. I think people will be really excited about it. Baker has not appeared on AEW programming since November 13, 2024 edition of AEW Dynamite, when she was confronted by Serena Deeb after beating Penelope Ford in a singles bout. During the segment, Dr. Baker was heard saying at Deeb, nobody cares, nobody cares, nobody cares. Deeb later appeared on AEW Collision in December wearing a shirt that says nobody cares, referencing Baker's comments. However, Deeb has also been off of TV since that appearance, and the Wrestling Observer newsletter has reported that Britt Baker has a few more years left on her deal, and then Sean Ross Sapp confirmed that news in a quote tweet where he says that she has at least a year and a half left on her deal without injury time, which she was out due to injury, so it may be probably closer to 2 years that she has left on her deal with All Elite Wrestling. Krssi Love, what do you think about all this news, all this drama surrounding Dr. Britt Baker DMD? This is something that we've kind of talked about on this channel, on this flagship podcast for years now. I remember, what was it like 2023? I had the whole rant about Britt Baker and just her
getting over her being what she was upset with about the Thunder Rosa thing. Yep, and
the way she treated people, being upset with the whole Thunder Rosa situation and how that was handled, and her basically kind of mean girl act that she was doing backstage that was exposed by the AEW All Access documentary series. And now you got all of this stuff with Wade Keller saying that's the reason why she's off television. I mean, like, some of these reports, we always say take it with a grain of salt. But when I heard the Wade Keller report, none of it really surprised me. I was like, yeah,
they've been saying this for a long time now, and it was shown on the show. So it's like, oh, not everyone's gonna keep telling the same lies, friends. It's only unfortunate, but you have to change your actions. Like, you did this, not you take responsibility for your actions. Try to fix it. And now you're being punished, and now you can't go on TV, which is fine.
Well deserved.
It's sad.
Well deserved.
It's really sad because it's a talent that could be used in other different ways, but it's just like, what are you gonna do?
I think that probably I don't know if she can get back the momentum that she had in AEW at this point. It's just too many of these issues that are now coming up in the news. First, it was the whole MJF backstage incident. Now it's this. Then it's her absence. The weird way she was booked since returning in 2024. It's all of that combining to each other, where it may be at the point that whether they like it or not, whether she has 2 years left on her deal or not, Britt Baker may be finished in AEW. Like, the only way she can regain the momentum that she has in her wrestling career is by going to WWE at this point, in my opinion.
So you don't think that she can do like turn over a new leaf and probably get help and like kind of turn that into a story and like make it more positive and see if like she can be something better for TV? No,
I just feel like the culture in AEW is not going to be conducive for her to do that. I think that she needs a.
Probably the girls don't even want her there.
I think that she's already gained a reputation to a lot of girls. Even the girls that were on her side, were friends with her, are no longer friends with her. The whole Jamie Hayter thing of it all. Like that type of thing, when you get that type of reputation, when people don't want you around, that's really hard to overcome. And you have to be like a otherworldly star and be a top star in the company for you to even continue to have a position when the whole thing of, oh, nobody in the locker room likes you, or a lot of people don't like her in the locker room. It takes a lot of star power and being at the top of your game, which we really have not seen the top of the game for Britt Baker since her return.
A while. Yeah.
So all of that leads me to say, like, I think that she needs the Triple H press the button, like Jimmy Macaram said it. Like, all of this Tony Khan keeping people on the sideline and icing people, keeping Rey Fenix under contract, adding injury time to his contract. We're going to talk about in a bit here, with them denying Ricky Stark's release or sitting Britt Baker on the sideline because she's a problem in the locker room.
Yeah.
None of that is helpful to AEW. Like you're better off just releasing these people. That's the best thing you could do, because it does not matter how long you ice them, how long you keep them on the sideline, how long you keep them off TV. All Triple H got to do is press the goddamn button, and he's proven that with Penta.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. You're right. But I feel like Penta was a different kind of case, because they were liked by the people that they worked with. They were liked by the crowd. You think the people will be?
But Tony Khan iced them. Tony Khan iced them.
Right, but he iced them. But Britt Baker is not really a nice person, and so it's like
I'm not comparing them and how the locker room views them. I'm comparing Tony Khan icing these people or sitting on the sideline. Like, none of this is helpful to AEW. Like, regardless if that's the way he wants to say, like, okay, Britt, so I've had enough of Britt, I'm just gonna ice her and not call her, keep her on the do not call list. I don't know if this is this is just causing more drama and more stuff to come up in AEW more than anything. It's hurting the stuff in the decision making of Tony Khan is hurting AEW more than it's helping it.
Got it.
Josh, what do you think about the entire Britt Baker situation, and what do you think the resolution to this all will be?
I have no idea. I don't know what's going to be the resolution. I mean, when I first heard it, I did question it, because, all this came from somebody from WrestleTorch. They were having like right. So like they were having some kind of conversation that got brought up. So I guess the way it got brought up, I think that's why I kind of questioned it. We all know Britt has been having problems, right? Nobody's perfect. We've all know, and I think usually, and like I said before, I was like, usually when there's a lot of smoke, there's fire, and when we got that from Britt, the show itself, the access. What was this show like? The right? Was it Access?
All Access.
Yeah, like that show didn't do her any favors. It kind of proved a lot of things. Some of the rumors that we heard about her and Thunder Rosa kind of confirmed You know what I mean? Like it kind of confirmed like her like mean girl kind of attitude. But as far as how TK feels and TK doesn't want to use her and all this stuff, I questioned it just because like I knew she had like a long length left on her deal, and to sit somebody out that long to just do nothing, I don't know. That's usually you know, in that situation we really don't know their relationship. Like if I was to know like their relationship between them, then I could give a better answer to that, because we don't know. We don't know how TK feels at the moment. He could be frustrated with her, but to say that he's completely done with her, not going to use her again, we don't know that. So that's kind of, you know, that's a weird thing when I heard that. But then little by little, it kind of confirmed like, hey, it's blown out of proportion. It's not what it is. Some of it is true, but then you know, and I kind of felt that was a little bit more true than anything. Because there were somebody from Fightful did say like that part is not true. And they basically stand on it. Like they weren't arguing with people, but they were like, that part is actually not true. And they were like that she actually is trying to work her way back onto TV. She was doing something else, and she's actually been working to try to get back on TV. So I mean, it became a mess. I don't know why, you know, when it comes to wrestling media, some people hear certain things and it kind of gets very muddied. So that's why this whole thing was complicated when I heard it, because I was just like, we don't know what to believe. At the same time, there's people who I could see believing it, because we have seen AEW, I mean, mostly TK, not use talent. If he's basically done with you, he's not going to use you. Like you brought up the Lucha Bros. Basically, the report of the Lucha Bros was when they found out, not so much that, hey, they're in negotiations with WWE, it was a fact that they weren't going to resign, that he didn't use them again. The whole situation with Ricky Starks, there's certain things that I know, but I'm not gonna air out any dirty laundry like certain people did this past week. We don't know the details of that. We were probably never gonna know the full truth of Ricky Starks and AEW, what's going on with that. But at the moment, he's not being used, and he's probably not going to be used again. From everything that I've been hearing, it's unfortunate. And you know, as a business thing, you know, obviously in the wrestling business, when somebody's leaving or somebody's not going to resign, their whole aspect is to job them out, right? Use them on TV, have them put over talent and stuff like that, right? WWE did that. WWE maximized a lot of talent like that, where, all right, this person is leaving. All right, let's just use them and have them lose a shitload of matches, right? Mm-hmm. With TK, he just doesn't use them. And that's his business motto. I would love to know.
And I'm just gonna say it straight up and down. That's not the right business model.
No, it's not.
It's not. It's just not. No, it's not. There's no way anyone could convince me. Yeah,
no, I'm saying. Yeah, like that's his business motto, which I'm not defending that at all. It's just one of those things where I would love to see in the next press conference to ask him about that, because that's kind of a little weird to me. It's just like, all right, this person's not going to stay, you're not going to re-sign them. How come you're just not jobbing them out? Like, was there a reason? Like, is there a method that the reason why you're not doing that? And if he gives his reason, he gives his reason. At least we would know for sure. Like, all right, that's what he wants to do. Doesn't mean we have to agree with it, but I'm like, if that's his business, that's what he's gonna do. That's one of the things I would love to know. Again, I would love to know, why is that the reason? Like, why don't you just use these guys and job them out? Like, what's, you know?
Yeah.
I would love to know that.
These guys want to wrestle. Just because they're leaving your company doesn't mean you need to be isolated. And it could be one thing I did want to push back against you with, when you said, oh, she has too much time left on her deal, Tony wouldn't keep her iced like that. He's kept Miro iced for a year now. It's literally the amount of time that Britt Baker has on her contract. I mean, I get the amount of time he's iced Miro.
But the reason why
do that, he will do that. I don't know why. It's weird, then also, and it doesn't make any sense.
No, but then also it's I mean, when it comes to Britt and Miro, who was the bigger star compared to them?
Miro
and the company itself. So that's why I question that in that aspect. Because Miro, we know the shit that's going on with Miro. Miro was given creative ideas, and he turned all of them basically down. So they're like, all right, we're just not going to use you. You know, with the Britt Baker situation, obviously it's a different situation, but her status within AEW was far bigger than Miro probably would have ever gotten. So that's why I question it.
I don't know. I feel like Miro was a bigger star because he was getting paid more.
I mean, that's why I say.
No, I know what you're saying. I know what you're trying to say.
I mean, as in like the way that she's being used. Like, yeah, like,
I would say that Miro was the bigger star because he was getting paid more and he was used in a prominent position for like that 5-month period.
But in certain cases, somebody could get paid more. It doesn't mean they're necessarily the bigger star too.
Right.
Like we've seen that in sports too. There's guys who get paid more. They get paid more. It doesn't mean they're necessarily a bigger star.
I understand the constraints that you're trying to put this in, but I would definitely say that Miro as Rusev in the 2010s is a bigger star than Britt Baker ever was. So that's why he got the contract. That's what I'm saying. There's an argument for both. It's not cut down the middle. Britt was a bigger star than Miro. No, it's not that simple. It's not that simple.
It's not that simple. It's just like the way
you could tell me, oh, Britt was a bigger star from 2021 to late 2022
because
that 1 year period. Sure, she was a bigger star in that 1 year period. But I would say overall in their career, who got to the biggest peak possible between the two of them? It's Miro. That's why he's paid more.
Yeah, which I get. And the reason why I was saying that, like I said before, I was like, it's because the way they've been used within the company, right? And that's why I was giving a little bit more pushback on like the whole pay thing, because I was just like, somebody could get paid more. It doesn't necessarily mean they're a bigger star, because that's just within the negotiation.
Most of the time in AEW, it's usually your star power is what gets you paid.
But then also in general, women in wrestling, they generally do get paid a lot less than the men. That's just right. That's just a fact right there.
But what I'm saying is that Britt didn't sign just one contract.
Yeah,
she
signed multiple.
2019.
Yeah, she signed multiple.
Another one in 2022, and that was for more money. Neither one of those contracts were bigger than Miro. At the peak of her powers as a star, she signed a contract that still was not bigger than what Miro got. So that's why I said Miro is a bigger star.
Yeah, which I understand.
We giving her too much time. This is too much. I'm sorry.
But what do you think?
I mean, we're giving her too much time at the same time. I mean, that was the biggest. That was one of the biggest topics of the week, and it became like a big mess. It became a big mess because again, people.
No. We don't go that way. I know where you're going. Don't go that way. Go to the left.
No. I mean, as in,
don't make a right. Make a left.
No. I mean, as in, like, I mean, as in, like, overall, like, again, like, this became a big topic because we had that first report. Then everybody else is like, no, that's not what it is. So people are gonna believe what they want to believe. That's all I was actually trying to say. Yeah. Like, when it comes to
this is still going to be a topic, Krssi. Like, this is still going to be a topic until she's either back on television or they come to some type of solution with her in AEW.
No, I know it's a topic. I just feel like
what do you think is going to be
the talk about this? We've talked too much about it. That's all I'm saying.
We've only talked for like 20 minutes. What do you think is going to be the final resolution?
She's going to get released and probably Hunter's going to probably ask for her and buy probably hopefully either one. I don't know if Tony will release her right away, but she'll be released, and she's gonna go over to WWE.
I don't think she's gonna get released.
She's gonna do over there. I don't know. Do they send her now? Do we send her to NXT? Probably not.
I don't see her getting a release. Tony seems allergic to releases.
You know what?
And I mean, it's true.
He does.
I mean, it's true. Yeah, and he's only like really fired a handful of people. Like, he's fired CM Punk. He's fired that bitch Kevin Kelly. He doesn't really fire people. Yeah, but that was deserving. Like, that one was like absolutely deserving.
Yeah, it's very rare. It's very rare that he does that.
But he doesn't. He doesn't fire people. He lets them. Hey, you can still get paid, and we'll just run you out. I mean, that's the only upside for the talent. They still get paid, but a lot of them just want to work. A lot of them just want to be in the ring. They want to get reps. They want to work.
We got a couple of new members or old members becoming new members once again. Power Driver Finisher re-upping his membership. Thank you so much, Power Driver Finisher, for that. We also got Chilling with Chase, who re-upped his membership. Give it up for Chase and Power Driver Finisher. Thank you on board. Go over and check out the IWC cooked video that me and Josh did for our members from yesterday. And then we got a super chat donation here for Chuck from Chuck Berries. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries. He says, seems as though it's been a bad week of mismanagement for both Tony and Papa Khan. Devo, better talk to your boys, LOL. I mean, Papa Khan is just awful at his job. And
the football?
That's what's making me scared, is because Tony is showing signs of running AEW a similar way that his father runs the Jacksonville Jaguars. And that's not the wrestling company that I want to be rooting for. I don't root for your football team. I don't want to root for this wrestling team if you're going to be running it the same way that you're running the football club. Teach yourself. We got another super chat donation here from Negro Buck Nick Jackson. Thank you so much, Nicky Boy, who says, little super chat in honor of my mama's birthday. Happy birthday, Mama Buck.
Mama Bucks, yay.
Mama Jackson, we love you. Happy birthday. We hope you enjoy your day. We hope you enjoy your weekend. We hope your baby boy is spoiling you and you have a great weekend. So happy birthday to you.
So I just want to ask Nick, since Nick is like 15 years old, your mom is like 35, right?
Seems about right. That math seems to math a bit. We got also in the chat, we got Davion, who says TK acting like Andy from Toy Story. Yeah, he gets a new Buzz Lightyear and he just drops Woody on the floor and goes to the new one. We also got Venom Hernandez, who says Tony Khan has a bunch of action figures. He let some go. I understand all of that. I understand, not wanting to just lay down and give up for WWE after talent and whatnot, and I can get that perspective. But when you just want to go and you're not using them, there's no reason to hold on to them. Like if you were actually going to use these people, even if it is to just use them, job them out. Literally how you used Penta for his last year in the company, where you just used him to job out to the stars of the company in random singles matches every couple of weeks. That's how you use Penta most of its final year in the company. You can at least do that with some of these guys.
Yeah.
Some of them I can. I think with Phoenix, I love Phoenix, but I'm like, I don't feel as bad for him, and I'm still gonna stand on that. I mean, he's gonna go to WWE in a couple of months, right? He's gonna go to WWE. They're gonna make some masks. I'll probably buy one myself because I bought the Penta one. So I mean, he just gotta be patient. I mean, he just gotta wait it out. But then also, just some of his antics, they're not doing him any favors. So he needs to like really cut it out, because it's like, bro, if you probably stay shut, he'll probably let you out sooner. But if you just keep doing the shit you're doing, you're giving him a reason to hold on to you. So that's my advice to Phoenix. Cut it the fuck out.
We'll bring that up shortly here. Josh, you're just skipping ahead to like all different types of topics.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to mention that. I just want to mention that. Because we're talking about him keeping talent.
Mm-hmm. But I think that Britt just has to really kind of reshape her image and her reputation in the AEW locker room, because that's not the only thing that's been being talked about Britt Baker this week. As previously reported, Britt Baker and Adam Cole are no longer a couple, although at the time of the announcement confirmed that they are still friends. Baker has been absent from AEW and is now combating new rumors that suggested she cheated on Adam Cole. We got in the latest Keeping It 100, Conan said, I was the first one that said her and Cole had broken up. They AEW fans were on me again. Now you see it's true. And I'm going to throw this little one in there. very credible source. It happened because she was cheating on him. Okay, literally, very credible source is literally how we heard it from somebody that's on our team. I'll just put that out there. Conan also claimed that Baker had a lot of heat on her in AEW, and most of the women's roster refused to work with her. In a post on Twitter, Baker responded to the allegations, and she wrote, "I understand we as performers are expected to have thick skin through opinions and lies we read about ourselves, but spreading lies about my personal life is just low, weird, and something I won't tolerate. I've never cheated on anyone in my life. Hashtag tell your source."
Yeah.
So yeah, she's had to deal with that. And honestly, this is not the first time we've heard that rumor. Literally, I don't do the whole talking about what I hear on AEW or in the locker room, AEW, WWE, TNA on this platform, but I do tell my colleagues here, my co-hosts here, and this was back in like 2023. I heard that rumor that Britt cheated on Cole, and you know that we went like eight months of that being like speculation before they finally announced that they had broken up. So like I hate the fact that people's love life and their relationship life is being dragged into the news.
Yeah.
You know, and myself, I knew about it. I heard about it. Now it's a matter of if it's true or not, right? Somebody could tell you something, it could be totally made up, and then, you know, but obviously didn't do them any more, mostly her, didn't do her any favors once the breakup announcement was like made, because then, you know, you're assuming things, you're jumping to conclusions. It's all unfortunate. I mean, it sucks because again, at the end of the day, none of this is really our fucking business. Like it's not our business. And, you know, and that's why it's unfortunate, you know, like Sami got heat for a while because, you know, he was engaged and then they broke up, and then people were just like, oh, it's because he's with Ty Conti, and then it ended up being what it ended up being. We don't know the details of that, but it just looks bad. And at the end of the day, again, it's that shouldn't have been brought out like the way it did, because it's none of our business. And people are going to pry in, people are going to do things. That's why Conan is no better himself doing that, because it's like, bro, like you're just, again, Conan has his thing against AEW, so he's gonna do whatever he's gonna do to like jump on that ship. It's just, again, you know, like, and I know both of them. Like I've met Britt. Britt was super nice when I met her, nothing but nice. Every time I've met her, she's been super sweet, super nice. And then Adam Cole, cool as fuck. Like I feel like he's like one of us. Like when I talk to him, it should be kept private. I mean, it's unfortunate, and it's unfortunate she had to do it the way that she did, and you know that led to other layers of things, and then now she's forced to defend herself. And regardless of how you feel about her, regardless of how anybody feels about her, of like a reputation, shit like that shouldn't have never gone out.
Nah, definitely shouldn't have. We got Cyclops better than Wolverine though, so and proposing in the ring wasn't a great idea. It opened him up to scrutiny, sad to say. I mean, that is a great point. No one would have even talked about Sami and that whole thing if he didn't decide that he needed to propose on national TV. So,
that's his fault. That's on him.
Yeah, on an episode of Dynamite. This was back in 2021.
Yeah, he proposed to his ex. He proposed in it, and then like a few,
months later, he's with Ty Mello. So it's just like,
you
created that mess all yourself. I can't.
That was dumb.
This one with Cole and Britt.
I never had respect ever since.
These two did not. All they did was let people know that they had a relationship. We should not be prying into it this way. Whereas Sami, you put yourself into the criticism. You threw yourself into that fire. So I'm not. I don't have any sympathy. But
no, I don't either. And then I think he even like made the breakup public, which I was just like, oh, bro, like, I'm like, you probably shouldn't be fucking doing this right now. And then
yeah, Britt and Cole did not do anything to deserve any type of people trying to dragging their names in the mud or talking about their personal business or talking about the reason why they broke up, period. But we got to move on to more drama in the AEW verse because MIA AEW star Ricky Starks was in action at last Saturday's House of Glory Watch the Throne event in Chicago, Illinois. Starks faced Mike Santana in the main event for the HOG Championship. The match ended via disqualification after interference by Charles Mason and the Cold-Blooded Killers. Starks and Santana fought them off, and then Santana gave props to Starks, saying to him, when you're finally able to go out on your own and do your damn thing, this guy's a bona fide superstar. Santana then handed off the microphone to Starks, and Starks cut a promo where he said on how much he appreciates the fans. He says, every time I grab this, I somehow get in trouble. So I'm not going to leave this to any disordinary interpretation. So I'm going to say it as plainly as this. I cannot thank each and every one of you. From reading your messages, asking if I'm mentally okay, asking if I'm good, checking on me. You don't know me from shit. But that's the thing about this wrestling shit is that, hey, it don't matter. We're all a part of one thing, right? I have loved wrestling since I was 7. I told my mom I would buy her a house off of this, and God damn it, I have done that, and I'm close to giving her anything else that she wants. On taking everything the hard way, he said, I don't take anything easy. I take it the hard way. I take things the way that I want to. If the road ain't paved with cement, guess what? I guess I'm putting on my construction hat and I'm going to work. If you thought that I was somebody less than a year ago, guess what? You're sadly mistaken, because I have evolved to a man 4 years from today, and that's saying something, because a lot of y'all have not seen anything yet from me. With the last dying breath in this New Orleans heart, I tell you this, I'm going to stay absolute till I die. You heard, and you best believe that I'm going to make sure I make a quick trip back here to Chicago. Then on, I believe Tuesday, Ibu of WrestlePurist reported that Ricky Starks asked for his release from All Elite Wrestling some time ago, but was denied by AEW president Tony Khan. This means that Starks will have to wait until his contract is up. Fightful Select Sean Rossap confirmed this news. It is said that there are a lot of things that led to the situation between Starks and AEW, and most if it will never be reported. Starks is planning to stay in the public eye by working independent dates. His last AEW match was on March 30th, 2024 on an episode of Collision. Man, this Ricky Starks mess is it's just an absolute train. It's just an absolute clusterfuck at this point, and it 100% makes AEW look horrible. Like I don't even know.
It's making it seem like this company is a joke. It's really making it seem like the people that work there is just making this all bad. And I don't know who is over there to say, guys, we need to stop this. Who are your PR people? Like, this does not make your company look good. Like, who is on your team? Like, your name is in the press too much. And not saying that the rest of the community is small, but it's small. You guys are one of the bigger companies, and it's looks like we're playing checkers at this point. It looks terrible.
He's been off of TV for nearly a year. That is ridiculous. There is no reason why someone should be off of television for goddamn a year without an injury. That's just wasting money. You're just wasting money at this point. Are you running a business, or are you just running, oh, I'm going to book the people that I like?
Yeah.
I'm going to book the people. I'm going to book the people that I think won't go to AEW, to WWE. If that's how you're gonna book, then sell this fucking company, Tony Khan.
Yeah, it's terrible. Like, don't let WWE buy you guys out now, because you're gonna bankrupt and you just can't survive.
just so frustrated with this situation, especially because it's so avoidable. It's so avoidable. Just have a conversation, sit down with him. He might not want to re-sign, but there is ways to use him and use his name being so often mentioned in the news cycle to use him as an anti-AEW guy, that an AEW stalwart like a Will Ospreay, a Kenny Omega, a Powerhouse Hobbs can just beat him. He could talk all the trash he wants about the company, and then you beat his brains for the next couple of months until he goes to WWE. And then guess what? When he goes to WWE, that's better for you than not using him, because when they press the button and then he comes out, people will just say, hey, that's the guy that's been losing on AEW television for all these months. Instead of giving them a fucking months or year-long hiatus where we forget all the losses that they had, and now they're just, oh, AEW guy in WWE, yay, that's great, this is awesome. You are helping them at this point. Are you fucking stupid? Did you not see Penta's debut? What the fuck are we doing? What do you think about the whole Ricky Starks situation, denying his release by Tony Khan here, Josh?
I mean, I did hear about it myself. Before Ibu reported anything, and he technically didn't really report it. He was on a fucking podcast and he basically blurted out. That's how it got out there. But yeah, this is something I knew about myself. Obviously, I'm not a reporter, so I wasn't gonna say nothing because
it's not your job.
Not my job, but then also it's just who the fuck is gonna believe?
Well, you are a reporter for the podcast, So.
I mean, I'm part of the podcast, but then it's like I got 400 followers on X, so imagine we're saying that Ricky Starks asked for his release, and everybody's gonna come at me and say, "Who the fuck are you?"
Shut up, yo.
Rumor has it. Ricky Starks asked for his.
He's like, yo, I got 400 followers. Like, it is what it is. Like, it ain't my place.
It's not that serious. It's not.
No one's really.
It was like they told me. That's all they needed to tell.
Yeah, but basically how I know, and the reason, and there has been stuff going on. There has been stuff that's been going on with Ricky Starks and AEW. And I know this because basically I'm not gonna mention no names. I'm not gonna mention nothing. Basically somebody snitched them out. And that's how I know certain things. I'm not going to put it out there because at the end of the day, again, it's none of my business. It makes Ricky Starks, regardless, this whole thing makes Ricky Starks look better in the situation, makes AEW look worse. So it doesn't really matter what's said or not. All I know is that I know what I know because somebody snitched them out. And it is what it is. So that's why I don't want to harbor too much on like the situation. But at the end of the day, I mean, he's gonna try to do what he could do to try to get his name out there. He doesn't really need to do a lot. Everybody knows Ricky Starks. Once he goes to WWE, they're gonna give him a big entrance, and people are gonna still run with the narrative of, hey, he's already a bigger star by the entrance alone. That's just what it is. It is what it is. No matter what, even if he was to job out, lose 100.
Is over there, so they can try to like.
He comes out in a fucking movie kind of entrance. People are gonna say, "Hey, this is already a better." Oh, they already made a bigger star than they did in AEW in all the years that he was there. So it doesn't really matter in that aspect. Again, it's an unfortunate situation. And they are right. We're probably never gonna know the real story to what the fuck is going on, because obviously something is going on, and we just gotta wait until he shows up in WWE. Hopefully he's not at NXT because he's better than NXT at this point.
Way better than NXT.
So I'm just gonna say,
but he may be better than NXT. But he could be the face of NXT. He's not going to be the face of Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah,
he could be the face.
That's true.
He could be the face of a brand, and I think that his reign would be even better than Ethan Page's. So I think that him starting off on NXT isn't as bad as some people might think about.
Oh, he'll be
I actually agree with that because I think Ethan Page, is more the character, like that's what's helping him. But his wrestling is mid, and let's just call it like it is. It's mid. It's very mid.
Very mid. Okay.
And that's fine. People, right, in the wrestling business, everybody's not going to be a ring general. You don't need to be. So that's fine. You know, that's 100% fine. But I do agree with him saying that. Like, it could benefit him. It's just a matter of if that's what he wants to do. Now, if he's getting main roster money, he goes to NXT, he's going to take that. So
yeah, and he probably will. He probably will get the biggest deal in NXT right now. We got Tony.
As he should.
Cyclops is better than Wolverine, says Tony Khan. Stay losing the perception war against the disgruntled wrestlers. Literally, the only disgruntled wrestler that he isn't winning the perception war against is our next topic. Rey Fenix has once again fueled speculation about his future with All Elite Wrestling. On January 18th, 2025, the former AEW World Tag Team Champion posted a cryptic photo on Twitter showing himself in what appeared to be a cell and restrained in a straitjacket. Fans were quick to interpret the image as a subtle jab at AEW, seemingly symbolizing his feelings of being trapped under his current contract. This isn't the first time that Fenix has hinted frustration with AEW. Late last year, the Lucha Libre star made headlines after deleting tweets accusing the company of inhumane treatment and neglecting his medical needs. Wrestling Observer's Dave Meltzer previously reported that Fenix might be exploring ways to get out of his AEW contract, which had been extended due to injury time. Meltzer also noted that WWE appears to have creative plans for Fenix, further fueling rumors of his possible exit. Then we had Tom Pescott, yes, the former Baron Corbin, took to social media to comment on the Rey Fenix situation. As previously reported, he's in a situation that he's currently under contract and not being used on television. It appears Fenix's merchandise has been removed from AEW shop as well. Pescott responded to an initial comment noting that Fenix should be let go by AEW because the situation is hurting the talent. Pescott actually came to the defense of AEW and Tony Khan in this situation, noting that contracts need to be honored. The former WWE United States champion wrote, "If you sign a contract, you honor it. Would it have been okay if Tony didn't pay him while he was hurt or out of action? The answer is no, because Tony signed the contract as well. You can't switch teams after getting what you want and signing the contract." Facts. Later, Tom Pescott chimed in again on Rey Fenix, saying, "Adding injury time to his contract and having no plans to use him is not hurting anybody but Fenix." Pescott responded, "Everyone who gets hurt gets injury time. Doesn't matter if it's WWE, AEW, or TNA. That's part of it. And maybe Fenix doesn't want to work. Only him and Tony know that." He also later noted that Fenix's contract doesn't guarantee him TV time or matches either. He continued, "False. Having a contract doesn't mean you are guaranteed TV time or matches. It simply means you can't work for another company." When another user pushed back, Pescott expressed confusion over how anyone can defend the opposite side in this situation. He says, "Do you personally know their situation? You don't know. You only see what you see online. I'm not defending either side. I am saying there are a contract in almost everything we do. It protects both sides. And if anyone isn't happy, nobody is forced to sign them in the first place." Another user expressed issue with Fenix being injured in an AEW ring. Tony Khan extending Fenix's contract only to use him, not use him further. And Pescott responded, "It sucks for both sides, but if we have no idea what has been said or done back behind the scenes to make it this way." He also noted that in this situation, Tony Khan has the right to protect himself as well, writing, "It goes both ways, man. He has to protect himself as well. It's a shitty situation for everyone, but he can't let people just F him over because they see greener grass. And just like you, I don't know the details. I'm just speaking on contracts. They are not what they are. They are not what they are, fair or not. When another user claimed that Prescott's comments won't get him a contract in AEW, Prescott responded, "Don't need one. Unlike your ass at 40, I don't ever want I have to work again if I don't want to." Another fan asked if Prescott was not looking for work right now. He says, "No, I want to do things I want to do, like a horror movie. I don't need to work. Big difference." Of course, Penta's brother Rey Fenix's brother, Penta, recently made his WWE debut on Monday Night Raw on Netflix on January 13th. It was rumored that Fenix was also in talks with WWE, but AEW preventing him from leaving since he still has time left on his deal due to his previous injury layoffs.
So this all happened on Twitter?
This picture happened on Twitter.
Right, but the back and forth between the two guys, that happened on...
No, it wasn't between the two guys. It was Prescott talking to fans about contracts, about honoring contracts. Should he honor his contract? And it simply is, yes. I think that there is a better way to use him while he honors his contract, but like I don't see
I didn't need you to
with adding injury time. What? No. I think we did need someone like Tom Prescott to come out and say stuff. Like, yeah, because it was a former WWE star. Yeah, he was great. He was honestly great and needed.
I thought he was great because he really had to explain, and I think that's the biggest problem with a lot of fans. Like right now, I'm seeing a comment saying like, "Oh, Phoenix wants," like I'm seeing this one, right? Like, you know, I'm seeing this comment. Well, people got to realize is that regardless, Phoenix did fuck up. Penta and Phoenix did fuck up. We gotta realize that, guys. Like, they tried to get a contract with WWE. They were in negotiations with WWE while being under contracts with AEW. Like, that's the reason why all this happened. And people got to realize that, like, yes, Lucha Bros were as much as in fault for that. And regardless of their gripes, I think their gripes are legit. Like, the reason why they had a fall out with AEW, that's legit. However, it's about how you do business. And when you're under a contract with another company, you just can't do that. Like, you just can't do that. That's why you wait to free agency and then you sign whatever you want, wherever you want to sign. These guys were trying not to do that. You know, and that's why Phoenix is in the situation that he's in. And that's why I'm like I could feel bad for the kid because I know the guy and he's a super nice guy. At the same time, you fucked up. Like you fucked up, and them adding injury time is the best scenario for him right now because honestly, TK could have sued both of them if he wanted to because they fucking breached contracts for doing that. So it's like right now, Phoenix is getting the best scenario, regardless of what we like it or not.
Yeah, like,
I mean, it's like they were trying to do some shit that they weren't supposed to do, and they got caught doing it.
We have to understand these situations are not all the same. It's not all
right.
It's all, and I know there's some people. I do a show with someone who's under the belief management always bad, wrestler always right, or worker always right, management always bad. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that because yes, the worker can do something wrong. like that basically you are devoiding them of any accountability for anything they do if you are under that belief. And even stuff like this, and I like Cyclops better than Wolverine. He's like, I just don't understand extending a person you don't plan on using. If he was being used, I could see it. I understand them extending his time. If he was injured and you did not get the amount of time that was supposed to be on the contract where he was healthy and able to be used, then yes, you are well in your right. That makes sense to extend their deal. Would I like him to be used? Yes.
Yes.
Does him not being used make extending his deal not make sense? No. It still makes sense. It still makes sense. They like people. This is what they call a very layered conversation. I think people are making it too black and white when it's a very layered conversation. Did Ricky Starks do anything that should make him feel like he is trapped under his contract the way he is and not being used for over a year? No. Did Rey Fenix do something? Yes. Like, that's what if you want to make it black and white, that's what it really comes down
to. And we've been saying that. And I've been saying that myself. I was like, yo, Ricky, I was like, his situation is completely different. I was like, with Ricky, is like, you can let him go. You can release him and let him go and do what he wants to do. With Phoenix, it's more of, it's what Tom said, right? Like TK can't let people walk over him. And this is a situation where he can't let talent walk over him. Like, it's just, it is what it is. And I think, and again, like I've said, I've had a great relationship with the Lucha Bros in person. But I could even say, yeah, they both fucked up. They did something they weren't supposed to do. And it's okay to say that, like it's okay to say that. And, eventually he's going to get to WWE, regardless of what people want to say. It's just, he has to wait. And right now, again, this is the best case scenario for him, because if they wanted to take legal action, they could, and AEW would win if there was to take legal action on both guys. That's just what it is. What they did was they added time for both guys. Yeah, they added time for both guys.
They were very braggadocious about them talking to WWE. Like, it's Conan on his podcast talking about, oh no, these guys are leaving WWE. What comes around goes around. All the cryptic shit like that. Like, that's what it really comes down to. Because like we heard, a bunch of y'all heard on social media this week, but y'all didn't even have to listen to $5 Discord or anything like that. Literally, when the elite was going through the contract negotiations, go back and watch Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast. And what did I say on that? I said that they were probably calling Kevin Owens. They probably calling this guy, that guy. They probably playing both sides together. And I also told y'all 2 years ago that Kenny Omega and Hangman wanted to leave, and the Bucks were the ones that wanted to stay, and they just went with the Bucks. And that's exactly what was heard on these audio files. So, yes, there's gonna be contract tampering, but the difference between the elite doing that and the Lucha Bros doing that, Brandon Cutler doesn't have a podcast called Keeping It 100 where he's bragging about it.
Bragging about it, and even Penta himself, he went on another podcast, it was a Spanish podcast, and he openly said he was in negotiations with WWE. Like, it's one of those things again, right? People could be upset, people be up in arms, but what Baron Corbin said was 100% right, and he's not taking sides. I think that's a part that people are like overlooking. That's why I didn't like the fact that, fans were trying to say, oh, you're just doing this to try to get a contract. He don't give a fuck. He don't give a fuck. Contract. He doesn't give a why, because he doesn't need one. He's made enough money in his life that he doesn't need to wrestle again. But he loves the business. He generally loves the business that he wants to keep going. So all this is just a bonus for him. It's a plus for him. He's not trying to get a contract, and he's even openly said that he wants to work with New Japan. So he's not trying to get a contract with AEW. So, when it comes to that, obviously people are gonna really dislike what he has to say. But at the end of the day, I think he was the perfect person to say it, because I think, this was a WWE person, first of all, that said it. And two, he's been pretty loyal when it comes to that, like to them, and he's been pretty loyal. So he had no dog in the fight, and he decided to speak up. And I thought he did a fantastic job explaining.
And literally, like, I heard some people being like, "Oh, you're only saying this because you got released." No, he's saying this because he didn't get released. They honored his contract and told him they weren't going to re-sign him. That's how contracts work.
People don't read how
contracts work.
He sat back and he waited himself. He sat back and he waited. Like, he sat back, and then also this whole thing about like, oh, he said this because he got released. No, he's speaking on AEW.
He didn't get released. That's period. That's period. That's not involved. Yeah. He didn't get released. They honored his contract and it expired.
But it's funny that people were trying to use that against him. Like, oh, he's saying this because you got released, right? But at the same time, I'm like, where does this benefit WWE or whatever he's saying? This is an AEW discussion. Right. So even if he did get it doesn't fucking matter if that was a thing, because he's speaking up on the situation. And I think a lot of people are saying, "Oh, free Phoenix," but I think the problem is that a lot of people are just not really looking into the situation. They see it as, "Oh, Rey Fenix innocent, AEW bad." That's all they really see it as. And I think that's one of the things that
they're not going and doing their due diligence and getting all of the notes and all of the research and like why.
Yeah,
how did we
they're
get
not seeing the full transparency of everything.
Correct.
You know, and that's that's always been the biggest problem with me. It's just like, guys, like, can we just like be in a situation where you actually pay the fuck attention and you see what the fuck is going on instead of
the person that has the job, but he can't quit the job until you get a new job.
Right. You know, and it's just right.
Like, we want to get a new job. It's just like, I'm unhappy at my old
it's like
job.
With us, right?
I'm looking for a job, but nobody
want
to hire me because I can't get out of the old job.
Yeah, because like with us, right? It's different for like somebody like me, right? You know what I'm saying? Like it's different for somebody like me because like with me, I've been at my job for almost 13 years. I make 13 years this summer, right? But the difference is that I'm not under a contract. So like if I wanted to talk to another job to get another job, I could do that. But if I was under contract, say like if I was corporate and I had like a base salary and I signed an actual contract, I can't do that. And if I was to do that, then they could fucking sue the shit out of me because I'm breaching my contract.
Yeah, that's how it works. And I love that there's also the people that try to compare it to like the Mustafa Ali type thing. No, this is extra. This is extra so not like that, because Mustafa Ali requested his release because he wasn't being used. Rey Fenix and Penta were going to be used and win the Trios Championships at the biggest show of the year for AEW, and decided they were going to tell AEW, no, we're not going to re-sign with you, and then blabber it out to everybody else, we're not re-signing and we're going to WWE.
Yeah,
like they were going to be used as a champion in AEW, and they just chose to put themselves in this position. This is all on the Lucha Bros in every way possible.
Yeah, then also like, well, and then also when it comes to that, what people also kind of overlooking is that when that whole period was happening, AEW was trying to talk to Lucha Bros and they were completely ignoring them. So it's like, again, in every aspect, they didn't handle the situation well. And like I said, there are things that we could like. They have like a legit gripe, right? There's a reason why there was a fallout between Lucha Bros and AEW, and I think a lot of their reasons are valid. I think like the whole like, hey, every time they use this company, we can't be on TV. I don't think it's fair. Valid reason, right? Like the whole New Japan stuff, they couldn't be used every time New Japan was there, right? These are valid reasons that they had, but again, it's about how you handle it, and they didn't handle it very well. I mean, and again, at the end of the day, both guys are still going to be in WWE. Penta's there now, and people have been happy for him. I've been happy for him. I've been really happy for him. You know, it is what it is. People are just going to have to wait. Phoenix has to wait. That's it. Like,
and yeah, I disagree with this. Frantic World says, I swear the wrestling fans online today are taking the fun out of watching pro wrestling. Get off of line. That's literally my advice to you. Like, literally, if they're taking the fun out of watching pro wrestling, then get the fuck off the line. Like, that's not on everybody else. That's not on wrestling fans taking the fun out of watching pro wrestling. That's you being online taking off the fun of pro wrestling. And Power Driver Finisher kind of echoes that, saying if the fun is out of wrestling, no offense, it's probably because you're online too much. Online is not wrestling.
You need breaks.
What's on your TV is wrestling.
It's toxic. You don't need to speak to people, and you don't have to believe what they say, or you don't even have to comment. Just keep scrolling past it. Don't even
exactly. Just ignore it. If you see any type of negativity, block them. Keep it moving.
Yeah.
But we're going to move on to AEW Collision Maximum Carnage, which was last Saturday. They did 342,000 viewers. The show featured Powerhouse Hobbs, the Outrunners, and Rated FTR defeating the Death Riders and the Learning Tree in a fun 12-man tag team main event. Powerhouse Hobbs coming out strong, getting the victory for the babyfaces in this matchup. You also had Kazuchika Okada beat Tomohiro Ishii in a fine match to retain the AEW Continental Championship. Definitely needed more time than what they got. Undisputed Kingdom defeated Shane Taylor Promotions in a trios matchup. The post match, you had Shane Taylor attack the Undisputed Kingdom until Daniel Garcia made the save, and they seemingly teased Garcia defending the TNT Championship against the members of the Undisputed Kingdom. And Giulia Hart picked up a win over Harley Cameron, while Hangman Adam Page defeated Christopher Daniels in a bloody, tremendous Texas death match in the reported final match for the Fallen Angel. It was reported by Fightful that Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels was finishing up his career ahead of Maximum Carnage, and then Daniels confirmed the news on social media, saying it's sad that it had to go, that it had to end, but he's happy that it happened. And then he further confirmed this news on AEW Dynamite this week as well. So what do you think about Christopher Daniels closing out his career at AEW Collision Maximum Carnage last Saturday? Krssi Love?
I didn't see it. I'm sorry. But I'm happy that he.
That's why I asked. You need to listen to the question. No, you need to listen to the question I asked. How do you feel about Christopher Daniels finishing? I didn't ask you if you watched the show.
I was about to finish answering it. Damn. But I'm happy for him. He had a good run. Good for him. He did it with Hangman. So I'm actually happy for him. He's probably going to still be on TV and be a general manager like he's been doing. So.
Oh, no, please don't. Please don't. He already gave up his EVP spot. Remember, he said at World's End, he said he's no longer an EVP. Just keep it like that. I don't want him on. No.
Fine. Be in a bag. Be a coach. Whatever.
Because as a GM, he sucks. He's like Adam Pitt. They're both ass.
Do we really need GMs at this point? Because all of the GMs that we have right now are all corny.
Aldis is fine.
Nick Aldis is good.
He's the only good one. He's the only good one, to be fair.
The best one out of all of them, yes.
The good and presentable one. Like, he seems like...
We got RP Jesus. He says, get offline. Wrestling and anime is fun again. Yes, absolutely. We also got a new name in the chat. It was this Danny Huggins, who says AEW is such a chore to watch weekly. Tony Khan needs to be forced out of creative. The guy is literally killing the company. The longer that Tony Khan does not listen to the audience in regards to the stuff that isn't working, the more you're going to have more people that feel like this. I think that the negativity or the volume of the complaints about AEW is getting louder because it really does feel like Tony Khan is not listening to his audience.
Yeah, in the beginning he was, but I don't know. I thought that comment was a little extreme because I'm just like, I'm enjoying some of this stuff. I'm still enjoying some of the stuff. It's not like it's all fucking bad. Yes, the Death Rider shit is bad. No, it's not all bad, no. But it's not all fucking bad to like, oh my God, he's killing the company. I think some of y'all are just a little too out there.
Yeah, like some people take. We talked, and that's what we talked about on the IWC video. Yeah. Is that some people take the I got the gist of what Danny was trying to say. I don't think that you need to say he's literally killing the company or it's such a chore to watch weekly, because it was not a chore to watch Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay team up like they're fucking superheroes and fly off the stands. That's not a chore. That's not a chore to watch. It's not a chore to watch the Hurt Syndicate beat up some people and hurt people and seeing how over they are with the audience. It's not a chore to see Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander, Tony Storm, like Jamie Hayter on my TV. So I understood his sentiment in that Tony Khan not listening to the fans is what's damaging AEW right now.
Yeah, and I think I even said it this past week online. I mean, ironically, it was on an Ebo post where he's like shitting on the main event, right? Like what happened. And then I spoke up and I was like that the problem with a lot of wrestling fans or like when people give their opinions is that sometimes it's a scale. Like I mentioned a while back, if something is not as good, people will act like it's the worst thing in the world. When something that's decent, they act like it's the best thing in the world. And sometimes there's no middle ground where it comes to real opinions of like, hey, you could dislike something, but it's like, don't make it seem like it's the worst thing, because realistically, back in the 90s, there's a whole lot of worse shit I've seen back then. But I'm not going to use that now, like to make an argument. But at the end of the day, I mean, when it comes to wrestling, I've seen how many years of wrestling? Over 30 years of wrestling, and I've seen worse. I've seen all-time bad shit. I've seen really dog shit segments, dog shit matches. But at the end of the day, I mean, we could still give critiques. I think we could still give fair critiques without like making it seem like it's the end of the world.
Fair. And another person who is seemingly on his way out of AEW, as previously reported, Malakai Black is believed to be on his way out of All Elite Wrestling and will not be returning to television. AEW has already taken steps to write him out, as the House of Black faction appears to be moving on from him on television. PW Insider Elite reports that Black is officially done with AEW and has finished working with the promotion entirely. There have been no talks of a final appearance there. However, those expecting Black to show up at the Royal Rumble may be a little disappointed. According to the report, Black will not be a free agent in time to appear at the event. He is believed to be a free agent, and he will be available for WWE to sign in February or March. Do you see Malakai Black getting a major WrestleMania match? And what would that be if he does sign with WWE before the big show in Las Vegas? Krssi, yes or no to Malakai Black getting a big match, and who should that match be against, regardless of if it's a major match or not?
So you're asking, one, if he's going to be at WrestleMania, and two, if he's what's the match?
No, if he's going to be in a major match at WrestleMania. Major match means that you think he's going to face a top star or a champion of some type.
No.
So who does he face at WrestleMania?
I got somebody in mind.
Can he do Logan Paul, kick his ass?
That's not the worst idea.
I think that's a fair one with no title. Like, I mean, yeah, nothing like.
It's a fair one. It's just
fair. I think that's the best for him.
I'm gonna say if he's a babyface, he faces Drew McIntyre. If he's a heel, he faces Damian Priest.
That's a prominent match. I like that. I like those matchups.
I think that he is. He's coming over from AEW to WWE during WrestleMania season. If you thought that he's not going to be in a major match at WrestleMania, I have a bridge in Brooklyn that I'm sure you will pay me billions of dollars for, because you're a fucking idiot.
Not a bridge in Brooklyn.
I'm sorry. Like, he is going to get a major match at WrestleMania. I'm sorry, Krssi Love. He's going to get a major match. He's coming over from AEW in WrestleMania season. Jade Cargill, who they didn't think was ready, got a major match at WrestleMania last year because she was coming over from AEW. Like, we have years and years of examples. Cody Rhodes
was that the 6-woman tag that she was in, right?
But Cody Rhodes coming over from AEW. What does he get? He gets Seth freaking Rollins his first night back. CM Punk coming from AEW. What was going to happen last year? He was going to be in the main event if he doesn't get hurt. Like, this year he's going to be back in the main event. Like,
but it's also, I mean, Cody Rhodes, and CM.
Hey, Malakai Black, they do deal on that level. Whether y'all realize it or not, or whether
I'll have to see it. Honestly, I have to see it.
He's a Paul Heyman guy, and when it comes to the creative side of WWE, number 2 to Triple H is Paul Heyman.
I mean, I had to see it. I mean, I'm gonna sit back and wait. I'm gonna sit back and wait because I'm hoping that's what they do. But at the same time, I mean, WWE gonna WWE, so that's why I'm skeptical. But do I think he has a matchup in WrestleMania? Yes. If they want to kind of be that kind of people, he probably faces Chad Gable to get an easy win, because Chad Gable has become the new Dolph Ziggler. So there you go.
Well, yeah, that is true. He is the new Dolph Ziggler. I said that after the Penta match was the confirmation I needed. I was like, yep, new Dolph right there. I can see this. This would be a major match as well to me. Black versus Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, and beat Braun Breaker because I'm sick of his ass too.
I mean, honestly, I think that'll be pretty cool. You know,
like
mid-card title involved. I think that's a pretty good spot. I think that'd be a pretty good spot. But also, like when you said like Priest or Drew, I think those are great matchups. To be honest with you, it makes kind of sense with this whatever story they could tell. The Priest one, you know, you got spooky shit in there already, so you could kind of do something with that. So, you know, I actually like those matchups. I think those are cool matchups.
Yeah.
Deion Jenkins, no, we've said it. Chad Gable is the new Dolph Ziggler. Finn Balor is not even on the Dolph Ziggler level because he's actually still involved in a prominent stable. Finn Balor is basically Bayley from 2022, 2023. He's a main person in a prominently featured stable that always loses. That's basically Bayley from Damage Control.
And also, the whole thing that convinced me that Chad Gable was like Dolph Ziggler was that tweet that he mentioned, like how he had fun wrestling Penta and shit. I was like, yeah, he's enjoying losing again. So that's Dolph Ziggler. That's Dolph Ziggler, 100%.
That's so sad.
That's Dolph Ziggler, 100%. Like,
yep, he enjoys it. He loves losing. Big old loser. But final,
damn guys, like that's cold. He is a loser though.
Final notes on AEW this week.
Now. Sorry.
All Over the Wrestling has announced that this year's AEW Dynasty will take place in Philadelphia at the Licorice Center. It takes place on April 6th and will be AEW's first pay-per-view in the city. Tickets go on sale on February 3rd. AEW has previously visited the same place in Philadelphia for TV tapings and ROH Super Card of Honor in 2024. Then, meanwhile, AEW debuted on Max on January 1st and is reportedly performing well on the streaming service ever since then. Fightful Select reports that Max doesn't disclose streaming numbers and keeps them a secret even within the company. However, sources within Warner Brothers Discovery have confirmed that AEW ranks among the top live sports events on the service. Since moving to Max, AEW has also maintained cable viewership levels it had prior to the deal. Fightful Select has an update with new details on recent viewership numbers for AEW programming on ITV in the UK. AEW touted last week's Dynamite on ITV as drawing their third best live audience in over 2 years, with 113,000 viewers for live and same-day viewership. The week prior for Dynamite reportedly drew what was claimed as the second best audience for Dynamite on ITV in the last year. The show reportedly drew 139,000 after 7 days of viewing, and these numbers were reportedly provided to AEW by ITV. Additionally, Fightful Select notes that AEW's audience on TV 2 weeks prior reportedly also drew in the top 5 audiences for AEW on the network in the last year. Eternally, company discussions touted the shows as one of their hottest viewership streaks in the UK in a while. As previously noted, the promotion recently extended its ITV broadcast deal through 2025. So some really good stuff news-wise as far as cable viewership, as well as over internationally for AEW this week, despite all the bad drama going on behind the scenes, as well as the perception for AEW. There is some light at the end of the tunnel for them for the week.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, we kind of expected that. I mean, new TV deal. And I actually have the stuff they've been doing with the arenas, smaller arenas. It's looked better on TV too. This past week too, like I actually like the arena that they use. So I mean, they're trying to do at least other things within their new deal.
This is true. And then finishing up with the converse with Ring of Honor on Honor Club. It was the 100th episode of ROH TV on Honor Club. The show featured Commander beating QT Marshall in a solid opener to retain the Ring of Honor World Television Championship. Taya Valkyrie defeated Lady Frost, while Katsuyori Shibata beat Shane Taylor in the main event. So that was the 100th episode of ROH TV, which very much felt like Rampage. Like ROH TV like last year and late 2023 felt like we were getting the AEW dark version of ROH TV, and then this week was just felt like I was like, I'm watching a Rampage version of ROH. You're just building up guys that are going to lose on Collision on this show. So, okay. But you got to go over to WWE, and once again, we're going to start WWE Raw on Netflix. We should note the second week on Netflix was down 2.2 million viewers, down from 5.9 million for the premiere. It went down to 3.7 million for week 2. We will let you know what week 3 that we're going to discuss now. We'll let you know the viewership for that next week. The show featured Sami Zayn declaring for the men's Royal Rumble match and wanting to win his first world championship. This led to Kevin Owens interrupting to confront his best friend for the first time since the OG Bloodline reunion and him teaming with Roman Reigns. And he basically tried to manipulate Sami into helping him against Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble. Seth Rollins defeated Drew McIntyre in a very good main event. Post-match, McIntyre attacked Rollins until Sami Zayn made the save. However, Drew fought back and led to Sami accidentally delivering a haluva kick to Seth Rollins to close the show. Penta picked up yet another win in a fun matchup against Pete Dunne. Yes, Triple H is stealing booking tips from our True Jaw Josh. Then you also had Rey Mysterio defeated Kofi Kingston in a decent opener. Yeah, that New Day push is going really well. Post-match, Xavier Woods attacked Mysterio until LWO made the save, but the New Day got the last laugh with an attack on Joaquin Wilde. Jey Uso got into an in-ring confrontation with Gunther to hype up their Saturday night's main event title bout. Nia Jax beat Bayley in Bayley's first match on Monday Night Raw. Way to push the new talent. Post-match, Rhea Ripley came out to have a pull-apart brawl with Jax that's to set up a women's world championship matchup at Saturday night's main event. And finally, CM Punk cut a fired-up, semi-unscripted promo to hype up the Royal Rumble, where he threatened to throw Hulk Hogan's dusty ass over the top rope. What did you think about Raw this week, Krssi Love?
So we did semi-little drafts and moved people places, and Raw had parts that were okay, but then I was like bored. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
I very much my main thing watching Raw, and I was messaging Jimmy Macram while I was watching it on Monday. It was like, I like this show. I like a lot of things on this show. It just feels like something's missing.
It is. It's something off about it. I don't know what it is, but it's just something just like, okay, like it's cool. It had good parts. It was.
I think it was the pace of it.
The pace. The pacing was the best part of the show for me. What my real problem is that you have a bunch of stars, but they're not really doing anything. They're not really telling any stories.
Yeah.
Like CM Punk is the biggest star on this show, and he had a 2-minute promo to hype up the Royal Rumble where he was more focused on Hulk Hogan than anyone really in the Royal Rumble. Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, they had a very good main event, but that's nothing long term. There's no story for you to sink your teeth into. Yeah. The most important guy on the show and the best part of the show is Sami Zayn and his confrontation with Kevin Owens. Yeah. But that's like really nothing story else. That seemingly that story is we're going to see a significant progression of it at the Royal Rumble, and it may lead to something else, but that's just one story. And even that doesn't feel like the overarching main story of Monday Night Raw. Yeah. And then when you have the world champion, who every single week I'm saying feels like a mid-card champion, like that's why it feels like this show is missing a spark.
It's like he has the IC title back again, if that makes sense. They've never made him like not important at all.
I think with the IC title, they actually made him look more important than they've been making him look now.
He was important then. He's not important now, and that's sad. And that's not his fault. He's only doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah,
that's
I think that's for me, like for me, kind of felt like the pacing just because like I did kind of feel like after I was watching it and then like maybe like hour and a half, I was like, yo, it's just kind of boring. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Like it just felt boring. But like you said, they had some good stuff on the show. Like the Sami and KO stuff was pretty good. You know, Penta and Pete Dunne, that was a fun matchup. You know, I'm pretty sure Triple H watching me, so fuck you, Triple H. Still that idea. But I mean, they did some nice stuff.
I didn't get my check in the mail, boss.
Yeah, so fuck you. Yeah, and then the Punk promo, I mean, he's hyping up the Royal Rumble. It's just with these Punk promos too. I just hate the fucking pandering. Like the way he does his shit, like the whole like rah fucking promos. I'm just like, bro, shut the fuck up. Like even like with the whole Hulk Hogan shit, like somebody thought like, oh, that wouldn't work. Somebody hit me up like, oh, did you see he said? I was like, yeah, but what am I gonna say? Like, oh my god, thank you, Phil, thank you. I'm like, fuck Hulk Hogan regardless.
We know he's not gonna be in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, so it's like fuck Hulk Hogan regardless. Like,
like the line was not even like.
Yeah, it was just like, all right.
Where are we going with this, sir? You want to have a fight with him? Okay, they're not in that man's ring at all. They want the same reception that man got before. I guarantee you.
Yeah, so it's just like I don't know.
The
yeah, it was just whatever. To me, it was just whatever. And like the whole thing you said about Gunther and Jey Uso, I'm like, yo, you keep making this bitch, but he's gonna win. Jey Uso ain't fucking winning, but it's just the fact of like how you've been presenting him.
I'll be honest. I would not be surprised if Jey Uso won, because like they have been booking him 50-50 with Jey Uso and Damian Priest, and he doesn't even sniff a Drew McIntyre, a Seth Rollins, a CM Punk. He's going 50-50 with upper mid-card guys, not even the top stars on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, and it's just like, but I mean, he's not gonna lose to Jey Uso. If I'm wrong, then I'm like, fuck, I was completely wrong. But I just don't see it happening. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of his reign, not like, but the way they've been using him kind of reminds me of like Hangman. Remember when Hangman, every time he was in a feud, somebody always got the upper hand on him, and it made Hangman look weak, but then his matches were so great, and he ended up winning anyway. That's the vibe I keep getting for Gunther. Like, he kind of looks like a bitch, but then it's like he wins his matches, but then it's like, okay, like make your champion look fucking important at this point, because he hasn't since the start of Netflix. He has not felt important. Like, he wasn't even used in the first episode.
It's funny you just said that, because really think about it though, Josh, because I thought about this yesterday. When was the last time Gunther had an over 4-star title match?
It's been a while.
It's Orton. While. It's Orton. Maybe we can be generous and give it to Sami, but we're going all the way back to October at that point.
That's sad.
None of the Priest rematches were 4 stars. They were like 3.5, 3 3/4. They were good. They were not anything that approached.
It was the overbooking that fucked it up for me. Like the whole, like, it was just the whole angle after that, like the way they had Finn interrupt again, like both times. But you're right. I mean, I have not seen a prominent, and I think that's why his IC run has been, because he had 2 5-star matches in his IC title match. So I mean,
he had the triple threat at WrestleMania. He had the triple threat at WrestleMania and the Sheamus match in 2022. But think about all the great TV matches that he had in between all that. Yep. Like he had the Chad Gable matches.
And he was the one I was like, man, eventually most of the Raw nights anyway.
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. He had a banger with Bronson Reed. He was just killing it with Braun Strowman, Jey Uso, Ricochet. Like, he was Rey Mysterio, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods. Like, he was just smashing it out the park every single time out. And they have just made him into the world champion who only wrestles once a month. But then when he's wrestling that once a month, he's not facing anyone new. So it's just like, I've seen this.
I noticed that shit too.
And it was better. I've seen it before, I noticed that shit better.
Too. I noticed that too. He's not facing like new opponents either. Like, I noticed that shit. I was like, Priest.
We talked about this. Priest. We talked about this last week when we broke down the champions. I was like, they've really just they've not even tried with Gunther. Like, you would think by how they've booked his first 5 months that he's gonna be champion for like at least another year, because he has not sniffed any top stars.
Yeah, and then the problem too is that the way they're trying to use him, right? The way they're trying to use him like a Cody Rhodes like way, where they present him on TV, and when he wrestles, is like, oh, PLE, let's have him work here, right? Cody's not wrestling a lot compared to when he started, or like being the workhorse. They're trying to do that with Gunther, and it's not working. Why? Because Gunther, like, even his talking is decent. But he's just his thing is being the ring general. He's a worker. Use his strong point to solidify his run. They've done the opposite of that. They're trying to make him like some kind of character, which I appreciate. Like, I get it because you want to build something with him. But his strongest point is his wrestling. And when you're not using him in his wrestling, you're taking away his strong suit. But then when he's wrestling lately, hasn't been the standard that we're used to with Gunther.
Davion, he says, how can WWE fix Gunther's title reign and presentation, SP3? Well, first they have to get back to him being the ring general. He looks down on all of his opponents, but he's also a fighting champion. He's not going to just be like, you're not worthy of it. Yeah, he'll say you're not worthy, but eventually he's going to fight you and he's going to beat you on his own. It's been way too many. I think it's been like 2 or 3 of these matches since he became the world champion where he's needed help. Both of the Priest matches, he needed help from Finn Balor. He never needed help. He had backup this entire time. He had Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser. He never needed their help. Now he needs help from Finn Balor to beat Damian Priest. He still has not beat Damian Priest, which means we probably will get another Damian Priest match, even though the dude got moved to SmackDown last night. Like, we still probably see that because they need, and the title reign in general, it needs fresh opponents. And more than fresh opponents, we need fresh opponents that are also top stars. He needs to mix it up with your Roman Reigns, with your CM Punks, with your Seth Rollins, with your Drew McIntyres. You need to stop acting like they are on 2 different universes. That's what it really feels like. The fact that he's gone 6 months into a title reign and the top 3 other guys in the company have not either called him out, challenged him, or even went for the title, and he's not addressing them either? Not even close.
Yeah, they have not said any, like Drew said, none of them have went his way at all. At all. Instead of having Kevin Owens play around with fucking damn Cody, you should have had his ass over there.
Yeah.
Pretending he got some goddamn belt.
You want me to give you another pinpoint moment where this whole title reign fell apart is Cody beating him at the Crown Jewel. It's been a wrap.
I was about to say that.
It's been done.
And I think that was a big mistake. They should have made Gunther be the winner, not Cody.
I remember we did those predictions.
Yes, we did.
And literally, we all said, even the people that did predict Cody to win was like, Gunther should win. Like, that was an obvious choice. And they went with no, we're going to beat WWE. We're going to have Cena wins, LOL. And it's Cody wins, LOL. Cody won. And Gunther has not been the same since.
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. Because giving that, like, even with Liv, you gave it to Liv. Okay, no problem. Fine. With the guys on the other hand, you should have gave it to Gunther because Cody was losing nothing anyway. Cody was still going to be Cody. Cody's still going to sell out everything. Cody is still going to be Cody. Gunther was the person that needed that win to make his reign credible. Because now you had this person that was the IC champ that was winning all this time, and now he's the heavyweight champ. You're like, he's a loser? What's strong about him?
Nothing. And he doesn't know if he could beat Damian Priest, but I don't know if I'm confused or not. I think I just saw him beat Damian Priest at SummerSlam. But you're telling me every week he can't beat Damian Priest. I'm confused because I really feel like he won the world title from Damian Priest, so he had to beat Damian Priest to do that. Oh, okay, all right, WWE.
Whatever you say.
Frustrating. The whole second half of this Gunther reign has been very frustrating for me, especially because I'm a huge Gunther fan. But for all of you who are Nikki Bella fans, I got some good news for you all. WWE has reportedly had significant talks to have former WWE superstar and longest reigning Divas champion Nikki Garcia, aka Nikki Bella, return to action for the promotion per WrestleVotes. Additionally, her return is expected to happen sooner rather than later. WrestleVotes reports were told significant discussions have taken place regarding a Nikki Bella return to action, with the strong expectation from multiple WWE sources that it will happen sooner rather than later. TMZ Sports confirmed this report and stated that talks have advanced to the point that Bella has started training for her in-ring return. Nikki and her twin sister Brie Garcia were inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame as part of the class of 2020 in 2021. Also, Nikki was in attendance at the WWE Raw on Netflix debut earlier this month and appeared in the crowd during the live broadcast. TMZ Sports confirms that talks for her return to the company started after the huge reaction for her appearance on the Raw on Netflix debut.
You know what? Okay.
Yeah, it did get a huge reaction. It was the most viewed video of anything from Raw on Netflix.
What?
Literally 30 seconds of her doing the little spin and dance and showing off her ass got more views than The Rock, Triple H, The Undertaker, all these people. Yes. Huge reaction.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I mean, you put it that way. I mean, yeah.
The 41-year-old Garcia last appeared in the ring for WWE as Nikki Bella in the 2022 Royal Rumble matchup where she was featured with the women. Krssi Love, you've established before you're not a Nikki Bella fan, but what do you think about her possible return, and do you think it will happen? Or where do you put 0 to 100, the percentage it will happen next Saturday in the Royal Rumble?
Being the desperate person that she is, I'd give it a 9.
A 9 out of 100?
I thought you meant 9 out of 10. Okay, sorry. So I'd give it 90% since she's a desperate ass person. She shitted on these people and now she needs some type of relevancy. She's on Traitors. Now she just got kicked off. So she's gonna be back. Lord, we need another fucking TV. God help us all.
Josh, what about you? What do you think about the Nikki Bella return, and what percentage would you put on her return at Royal Rumble next Saturday?
Oh my god! And it's at the Royal Rumble. I'm gonna puke.
For me, it's like,
Only people that's happy are people that like the Bella twins. Nobody really likes.
What happens, it happens.
I like the Bella twins. I'm ecstatic. The GOAT, Nikki Bella is coming back. Yo, y'all gotta understand, there wouldn't be people watching pro wrestling if it wasn't for the Bella twins. And y'all might think I'm joking when I say that. No, I say this in jest. Okay. I say this in jest because I'm that Josh. If Josh takes his opinion or his bias out of it, he knows I'm telling the truth. There are actual wrestling fans that are only wrestling fans because they saw the Bella twins on Total Divas. They are only wrestling fans because they had Bellas.
So like,
that is legit. It's legit. Nikki Bella created a lot of wrestling.
You're right. I actually liked them better when they was on that show than they were in the fucking ring, though. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I prefer them on the show than in the ring.
I'll be honest with you. I prefer the Bella twins as reality stars more than wrestlers.
Thank you.
I mean, with me, I don't hate the Bella twins. I mean, I did meet Nikki a few years ago. She was great. But it's just, if it happens, it happens. It's like, what am I gonna do? Be upset and be angry and write on Twitter? I mean, it is what it is. If it happens, I guess more so me personally. I get where Krissi's coming from, right? Because their departure from WWE wasn't like the most positive. It wasn't the most positive. So I get.
Like, come on,
I get Krissi's point. But sometimes people make amends. Maybe she mend some fences. It happens, right? She mend some fences, and especially where what she was going through. Obviously because of her divorce and how that happened. Maybe this is gonna be good for her, like mentally. Maybe it's a good thing for her. So I mean, for me, it's just, if it happens, it happens. I mean, good for her. You know, we'll see what happens. As long as they don't make her like a fucking long time, like don't, you know, like use her like how you used her before, like in and out. Oh, Royal Rumble, that's it. Then you can use her other stuff.
If I see Michelle McCool one more fucking time.
Oh yeah, that's getting pretty.
I don't agree with this though. Mr. Bonda said Nikki Bella, good wrestler, check. Nikki, good person, X. I don't think there's anything that's been known or reported that we could say Nikki is not a good person. You can say Nikki Bella is dumb based on some stuff you saw in Total Divas, but there's nothing that she's done to say that she's not a good person.
And in firsthand, she's great with the fans. She's absolutely fantastic with the fans. So I can't say she's not a good person. I can't agree with that. I mean, that's kind of a different kind of thing, different subject of like, right?
Those true colors. You can't hide stripes.
I mean, you can. I mean, you can, but it's like, I don't know. That's a little saying Nikki not a good person. I don't know. I mean, again, my experiences, I haven't experienced that, so I can't really say that's true. I mean, that was just weird. Good wrestler.
I was like, what? Good person? Like, what are we talking about? I was like, what?
That was a weird comment. So that's why I'm just like, oh, what? Like, oh, okay, that's random.
All I gotta say, ladies and gentlemen, you can look, but you can't touch. Oh, you keep dreaming of the stars above. Boom, boom. I can't wait.
It's crazy because since I got my microphone plugged in, I can't mute the sound to that. So I heard the whole song, unfortunately.
What did Nikki do to you, Krssi? What did Nikki do to you?
I just don't like the flip-floppiness. I don't like the whole like 1 minute I love the company, 1 minute I hate the fucking company. Like those two girls shitted on this company when it was convenient for them, and now all of a sudden now it's like I feel like it's whole PR foolishness for me. I'm sorry. Yes, it'll bring people to watch more, whatever. Yes, her name, whatever. Like again, I think they were better reality stars. Just saying. In the ring, she fucking sucks. I think the best part of the Bellas was when they had Alicia Fox with them.
Alicia Fox. We got.
I mean, with Nikki, I'll give a little bit more credit because she did get better. She did get better in the ring. I'll give a little bit of.
Don't talk about Nikki Masawa like that. Those Masawa forearms she be throwing.
I'm not going to discredit the work that she did in the ring, and she did bring a lot of eyes to wrestling as far as women.
But I mean, I understand what you mean. Like, I understand why you feel the way you feel. I think it's valid.
I just feel like
I think it's valid.
I just don't like the whole like back and forth.
Flip floppy.
The flip floppiness. It's like, okay, you're unhappy with your boss and you're unhappy with how things went. No problem. Fine. Everyone has a shitty day. Everyone does not have the whole thing where they're not happy with what their former bosses. No problem. But when you go on a whole fucking podcast and y'all have a whole hour rant and talk about how this company didn't do it, like, I'm sorry. Now your career is in a hole and it's shitty, and they found that you are a shitty person. Now you want to come back, crawling back, and have the comeback.
Who's a shitty person?
She was a shitty person with that whole thing, the whole divorce. She was a shitty person after she left wrestling. Let's just be honest.
Who?
Nikki Bella. She's a shitty person.
How is she a shitty person? What are we talking about? Nothing you said makes her a shitty person because she was mad at WWE for Raw 30 and talked some shit about them, and then they basically called her and was like, "Hey, you want this, that, and the third, and we'll kiss your ass, and we'll promote you, and we'll give your name to Peacock for Traitors, and we'll be okay. Okay, cool." And now she's back. I don't see that doesn't make her a shitty person.
Okay.
How does that make her a shitty person? It can make her a flip-flopper, but that doesn't make her shitty. You got me defending Nikki Bella like I'm an actual Total Divas fan. This is ridiculous.
Apparently you are. So
you said it's ridiculous.
Now I'm the bad guy. Okay.
Yeah, you never seen those Masawa elbows? We got Danny Danny Hudson.
I've always
back
thought she was a shittier twin anyway. I thought Brie was the better one.
What? How can you watch that last run when Brie was botching every tope
No.
that she did?
They're not good. No, I said as far as being on the reality show. In the ring, go for trash. Let's just be honest.
Brie is the more relatable of the two. That's why she's with everyone's favorite vegan, Bryan Danielson, while Nikki was with John Cena. Who has 1,000 rules before you walk in his house. We got Danny and says, can't forget Nikki and Brie were emotionally invested in the Vince lawsuit because John Laurinaitis was married to their mom. Ooh, I forgot that.
I mean, yeah.
Frantic World says, let Krssi go off SP3. We also got Vincent who says, didn't CM Punk do the same thing that Nikki said?
CM Punk, I've been saying CM Punk Phil his own worst nightmare. Stop trying to contradict what I'm saying, people. I keep the same.
That wasn't the one to go to because she shits on CM Punk as much as
that
Nikki.
was like. Yeah, you try to make it seem like she was like 100% on board of like, oh my God, CM Punk is back.
You know what you could do, right?
Yo, that was crazy. that was crazy. That comment was crazy. That was crazy. You try to use that on Krssi.
Right here.
That's crazy.
Right here. Sir. Let me tell you something right now.
No, he's talking about Nikki's coming off.
Okay. I thought you were talking about me. Okay.
No.
I take it back. I apologize. I was wrong. I did
not. She was about to pull the gag out on you, Power Driver. I want a super chat because I just saved you. Krssi was about to pull the gag out. To be like, no, he meant her.
No, she is definitely being very Phil-ish. Yes, she definitely is, and I give Phil the same. I give Phil the same shit. Okay,
You realize what you just said, right?
What?
She's being very foolish. I was like, you ain't even realize what you did.
That was good. That was like foolish. I'm gonna start using that.
That was good. That was a good one.
Because I'm comparing if we're gonna be on the same page and tell the same stuff, she's doing what Phil did. Phil was the same way. You shitted on this
you know company. What? I'm gonna use that at work. When I see somebody at work kissing ass, I'm gonna say that. I'm like, you being real foolish right now.
You're being real foolish right now. And Phil was the same way. Phil was very biased. And then when he got cut from the company, guess what he did? He came out to a couple of shows. He went over here and said, "Hey guys, how's it been?
Hey big head. Hey."
Right. Hey big head. Exactly.
And he's still doing that.
I apologize.
Isn't it a great Saturday morning to be on Tru Heel Heat? But anyway, a new report has a potential spoiler.
I apologize.
Has a potential spoiler for a major match being discussed for WrestleMania 41. Fightful Select reports that a long-awaited match between Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley has been discussed for this year's WrestleMania 41. Belair and Ripley have largely been kept apart during their runs atop the WWE. Ripley is currently the WWE Women's World Champion, while Belair co-holds the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships with Naomi. The report makes it clear that these plans are tentative and based on current discussions about the show and are not set in stone at this time. The two were originally set to compete against each other at WWE Money in the Bank 2022 when Belair was Raw Women's Champion, but Ripley was pulled from the show due to an injury and Belair instead defended against Carmella. WrestleMania 41 is scheduled for April 19th and 20th at Alliance Stadium in Paradise, Nevada. The event will be broadcast live on Peacock. Do you think Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley is the right match for WWE to go to at WrestleMania 41? Krssi.
It's really giving they have nothing else in mind for this show. I'm not mad at the match, but that's what it's giving. I would like to see the two of them finally get together. Should Bianca win? Probably but we'll see.
I think that it is the right time because I think the only other big matchup that Rhea Ripley would have had is her and Becky. And do you want to do that back to back?
No,
like
I would do her and Charlotte. Well, they did that already, right? Damn.
Yeah, they did that. They did that. Like that's what I said. There's only two big matchups. It would be running back the Becky match because Becky was sick last year, so you want to maybe you want to give her a chance to have an even better performance that she did last year, or it's Bianca Belair. But I do agree. I do agree with
last year.
I do agree with your point though that this does feel like they don't have any other plans or they don't feel strong enough about any other plans. I do think Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky would be a big enough matchup. I don't know if WWE views Io Sky on the same level that we the fans do. That's the only reason that's the only thing that stops me.
I don't think I don't think that's a seat filler. I don't think that's a money. I think that's more of like a Money in the Bank. I think that's a not for your big flagship like.
That's like a filler match.
That's a filler match for another pay-per-view.
Rhea versus Io? I think that match would be better.
I mean, on their like how they view it more so. Like,
right. I don't feel like it's a WrestleMania like caliber of a match, guys. I don't feel like it's like something unless they have a good story behind it and a big feud. I do not think that that's a WrestleMania match. That's my only thing. I think it will be a good match. I don't think it will be a WrestleMania match. That's what I'm saying, SP. I think that they are going to cook together. Yes. I just don't think it's going to be to the caliber of what WrestleMania is supposed to be for a 2-night show. I do not see it being for that. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. That's fair.
Sorry.
What about you, Josh? Do you think that this is the right match for WWE to run at WrestleMania this year? And what do you think about this? If this match is to become the confirmed matchup, the fact that we wouldn't be having, the potential of a Rhea Ripley versus Io, Rhea Ripley versus Becky, and also we wouldn't get the potential of a Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill matchup, which I know some fans have been thinking that was the plan for 41.
I don't know if it's the right match. I think it's the most presentable match,
right?
For Rhea. I think that's the best way I could say it because right now it's kind of like the options are kind of limited to like what they're trying to do with the title picture. So I think it's a presentable match. I wouldn't mind it too much. Obviously, you got to sell the build up, and I think you could tell a great story between Bianca and Rhea because there has been something there. Right, there has been something there, and you could always kind of run it back to, and then hopefully it does what it does, and then both ladies will have great performances, in my opinion, because they've Rhea had that fantastic match with who was it? Charlotte, right? I think she had
2 years ago,
right?
Yeah,
2 years ago she had the fantastic match with Charlotte. Bianca had the fantastic match with Becky
3 years ago,
right?
Yeah,
I mean that's.
I think they could
these ladies in the ring. I'm very confident. Yeah. And in the ring, I don't have a doubt that they could deliver. It's just a matter of again how you build it up. So I think it's the most presentable move you could go with when it comes to that. As far as like I know people were asking for Jade and Bianca. Jade hasn't even been on TV. So I mean, I don't want to see that at this point. Not right now. But then also the way even they were using Jade. I mean, how was that would have been a thing anyway? For what the expectations people had for that to what it is right now, that shit is very low for me. At least right now, it's very low, and they don't really need to do that match right now anyway, because we don't even know what the fuck is going on with Jade. So. I think it's the move that you should go with. Like if you really want to sell a match and have a great women's match, that's a great match on paper right there.
Yeah, I think it helps. It helps the overall card for WrestleMania 41.
Definitely helps.
These are two legit stars, and it feels like the biggest non-4 horsewomen women's match you can give us at WrestleMania. So yeah. PW Insider had a report on another former women's champion as WWE has apparently canceled plans for the return of Alexa Bliss, as the two sides have allegedly had a disagreement over her contract. Bliss was set to return to WWE on the January 13th episode of Monday Night Raw on Netflix, which took place in San Jose. However, a quote-unquote contract issue prevented it. Representatives of Bliss reached out to WWE executives and said they wanted to discuss a new contract before her return. Bliss wanted a brand new deal with higher pay and more benefits. WWE wanted to keep her on her existing deal, which they recently extended because of her time away. With negotiations at an impasse, WWE put their plans for Bliss on hold. It is believed that Bliss would have started working with the Wyatt Six and would have been a regular on Raw. Since the return didn't happen, the Wyatt Six were moved to SmackDown. Evil of WrestlePeris says that if Alexa Bliss does not return to WWE, it could greatly affect the future plans for the Wyatt Six as well. So, man, it's a very interesting kind of story, and it proves that it's not all rose-colored glasses as everybody wants you to believe in WWE. They can have their disputes, whether it be about contracts, whether it be about creative, about some of the stuff that we heard this week. But the Alexa Bliss story is very interesting to me because it seems like we have yet another case of WWE not wanting to pay one of their top women stars the money that they deserve. Mm-hmm. That's how I interpret that report.
Same.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's
she's done a lot, and you don't want to give her, rightfully so, what she deserves.
Yeah, and I think it's a weird situation because, like, right, you're talking about maybe like 6-7 years ago, Bliss was one of your top women.
Hot. Yep.
Talking about merchandise, you're talking about the way they were presenting her, she was on top of the world. And as of late, she hasn't been used a lot. I mean, she got, she had it is what it is when it comes to that. And then, she had like a scare, right? I think she had like a cancer scare or something. Mm-hmm. So there's been a lot that she hasn't been on TV a lot since, right? So I could see both sides. At the same time, I do kind of agree, like, she's done enough for the company to, like, at least get a big payday. Like, she deserves that much regardless. And if you're trying to get her back on TV, I just thought the timing was weird. You had creative ideas, and then all of a sudden, hey, let me negotiate a new contract. We're gonna pull it no matter what. So it's like, it's an unfortunate situation. She knows her worth, right? Yeah. She knows her worth, and WWE they're in the situation where they're like, oh, I don't know, we should give you this money, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, like guys, I see, thank you. Alexa Bliss Gamer says she also probably wants more dates off since she just became a mother. And Belle says, I see that. I think she probably wants more time off now that she's a mother. I don't think that there would be a contract issue or contract dispute if it was just she needed more time off to be a mother. It comes down to money. Money is always the number one reason that there's any type of contract issue.
Yep.
If it came down to just time off, then the report would be, oh, they just have a couple of more details that they have to work out in the contract.
Yeah,
when they say there's a contract issue, it number point 1, point 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 is money. It's not time off.
And also, I don't think it's a time off thing because she's actually been pretty adamant of, like, wanting to get back on TV, and she's been responding to fans trying to get back on TV. So I don't think it's a time off kind of thing. But then also getting into the business, you kind of, you have a baby, but you kind of also know, like, once you get back on there, it's full time. You gotta deal with it, So I don't think it's that. Again, it's unfortunate, bad timing, because I know she's been wanting to get back on TV, and then now who knows if she's even going to come back, because WWE has been in the sense of same thing. Hey, we're just going to let your contract run out and not use you. And I think that's what's going to end up happening if nothing comes to an agreement.
We also got here a super chat donation from our good brother Chilling with Chase. Thank you so much, Chase, who says, protecting Power Driver Finisher Fund. I got you, my guy. There you go. See, You got support in the chat. Fire driver finisher. Chase showing some love to you. Thank you so much, Chase. We got Friday Night SmackDown was last night. The
terrible.
show took.
God. That was the most.
I love when Krssi Love. This is legit. Just Krssi Love having no filter. She just said stuff.
I'm sorry. Yo, I'm gonna just save you the trouble. SmackDown was like the hardest 3 hours to watch last night. I'm not even gonna fucking lie to you. And I was. So with that being said, I was falling asleep by the end. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was doing what you said, and yes, I also, because I didn't have to review the show afterwards because we didn't do the Sports Kita post show. I was falling asleep during the show.
Yo, my husband came home. He was like, "Yo, you sleep on wrestling?" I was like, "What time is it?" And it was still on. I was like, yeah,
literally.
I ain't even gonna lie to you. I missed like 30 minutes.
It's the 3 hours, man. It's still 3 hours. It's
literally. I was watching it with my boy G Loke, and he was staring at me during one of the commercials because he saw me falling asleep. That's what made me stop falling asleep. Is that I knew he would stare at me if I fell asleep. That's what. It wasn't the show getting better. It was him. The show featured Cody Rhodes kicking off the program to hype the ladder match against Kevin Owens at the Royal Rumble. Their contract signing at Saturday night's main event. Later, we got Owens interrupting commentary to cut a promo, responding to what Cody had to say, also getting into it with Matthew McConaughey. We also then had Jimmy Uso, who came out to interrupt and got into a brawl with KO to close to set up our main event of the show, which was Kevin Owens versus Jimmy Uso, which had
Sorry, I said that out loud. Sorry.
Which had Kevin Owens picking up the victory, but post-match, Cody Rhodes came out to get into a pull-apart brawl with his Royal Rumble opponent to close out the telecast. We also had Charlotte Flair talked about being the GOAT and declared herself for the Women's Royal Rumble match. I literally called this on the Sports Kita post show and last week's Tru Heel Heat. I was like, this is literally the video packages to announce Cody returning for the Royal Rumble in 2023. And I said the week before the Go Home show, Charlotte will announce she's in the Royal Rumble. Yes, I'm Negro Damas. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm gonna make a $5 Discord where I tell you all the scoops that I have. No, LA Knight picked up a victory over Tama Tonga. Do not aggregate. Picked up a victory over Tama Tonga.
Where did that come from?
Long story.
We'll send you the link to our video last night. Post-match, Jacob Fatu attacked Knight until Braun Strowman made the save and got the better of his Saturday night's main event opponent. Motor City Machine Guns beat Pretty Deadly in a solid match. Later, you had Apollo Crews defeated DIY's Johnny Gargano thanks to a distraction from Motor City Machine Guns. Backstage, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin let DIY know they will have their rematch in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the WWE Tag Team Championships at next Saturday's Royal Rumble. Rhea Ripley made an appearance to interrupt Tiffany Stratton in an in-ring segment. This led to Bianca Belair and Naomi came out to announce they declare for the Women's Royal Rumble and had some of the worst content ever spoken in a WWE mic in a very long time, where they just kept, oh my God, it annoyed the fuck out of me. It annoyed the fuck out of me.
I think it's this way I was like, okay, this show is going down. Like, this is like really, like, this is terrible.
I was like, none of these ladies I'm gonna win the Royal Rumble. If you're gonna have like 12 different women come out, at least have something. I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? In one
segment, like we have a whole 3-hour show. We needed all of these girls right now. Like it was just. Sorry.
Nia Jax and Candice LeRae interrupted for Jax to talk trash to the baby faces until the Judgment Days. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez came out for both to announce into the Royal Rumble. Led to a 6-woman tag, which Liv, Nia, and Candice defeated Rhea, Bianca, and Naomi in 6-woman tag team action. You also had The Miz was announced as the latest superstar to move in the transfer window to put him on the same brand as the Wyatt Six. He tried to recruit various stars throughout the night, including A-Town Down Under, who were informed they were moving to Monday Night Raw. So too bad for Miz. And meanwhile, Damian Priest became the newest member of the SmackDown roster and picked up his first victory over Carmelo Hayes in a good matchup on the show. That was a very long 3 hours. They still haven't figured out how to do this 3-hour SmackDown. We're months in and they still haven't figured it out. It's quite amazing. It's quite amazing, honestly, when you really think about it.
Is it though?
Yeah, it's amazing how incompetent they are.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was waiting for.
They knew they were going to 3 hours for months upon months, and they still have not figured it out.
Like, I was literally home on a Friday. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch SmackDown. I was like, I could have watched the movie. Like, I could have just like, it's.
Damn, yo, Damien not good enough for Netflix. Damn.
Yo, I was like, yo, they ain't move enough Terror Twins t-shirts. They moved him from the opposite brand of Rhea. Damn,
that's crazy.
I mean, they kind of need some more guys on, like,
we do
the brand on.
No, they do, but I was just like, he was, yeah, he was the main event for the second show, and then hey, you're on SmackDown the next week.
You know what? Okay,
that's kind of. I
so
mean,
they moved Bayley, they moved Damian, they moved the
Logan Paul, A-Town Down Under, The Miz, the Wyatt Six, and Braun Strowman.
I mean, the Wyatt.
I knew it wouldn't be too many people because you're going to do a draft in like 3 months.
Who went to SmackDown?
Braun Strowman, the Wyatt Six, Miz, and Damian Priest.
Got it. Okay.
The only top one
but they gave him 2 guys that could potentially be mix it up with the main event scene in Strowman and Priest.
Yeah, for the most part, because Strowman he has been pretty injury prone the last like year or so.
But he still gets those big pops. So
no, he does. But it's just I don't know. Wyatt Six is like we weren't being used either way, so I'm just like,
like guys, like what are we doing with the Wyatt Six? Seriously.
Yeah, like I mean, we kind of called what was gonna happen. We kind of called it. We kind of called it like what was gonna happen. So it's like I'm not surprised like where they're at. It's just they had a fantastic presentation of oh my god, we just killed a bunch of people to just not being used at all. So
it's a choice. It's definitely a choice. It's a choice they made and they're sticking with it. So congrats. I don't know what they want me to tell them because the Wyatt Six it's not trending up. That's all I can say. But another group that isn't trending up at the moment is the New Bloodline, unfortunately. And a new report has even added on to that as the WWE faction of Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa, known as the New Bloodline, will no longer be the Bloodline. The group kept the Bloodline name on WWE TV as Sikoa simply recruited Jacob Fatu and the Gorillas of Destiny to the stable as opposed to establishing a new faction. Sikoa has since lost his program with Roman Reigns, though with Reigns winning possession of the Ula Fala during the WWE Raw on Netflix premiere in early January. As a result of the program with Reigns being over and Sikoa coming out on the losing side, Sikoa's stable will no longer be referred to as the Bloodline on WWE TV, according to WrestleVotes. WrestleVotes said on WrestleVotes Radio on Sportskeeda's Backstage Pass, he says, we can confirm the plan as of now for the grouping of Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Jacob Fatu is to no longer be referred to as the Bloodline. It seems as though WWE is moving away from the heels using that name as Roman Reigns is now back to being the Tribal Chief. TC of WrestleVotes Radio stated he knows for a fact it was a Triple H decision to have the faction undergo a name change. There is no word on what Solo Sikoa's faction will be known as moving forward as of yet. Well, that's a choice. I mean, yeah, I don't see the future going very well for them if they're not the bloodline. Like, I hate to say that, but I think that the only one who has a very positive future is Jacob Fatu. Solo Sikoa, he's 50-50. 50-50. Tamatanga Tangaloa will probably be lost in the tag team scene in like a year and a half. They'll be the Good Brothers in a year and a half.
Oh my God!
I think a year and a half. I'm gonna be honest. I think a year and a half is very generous because I think it's gonna be sooner than that.
Yeah,
I'll be generous. I'll be the generous one here. I'll be generous.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, they're saying that it was Triple H. That's very obvious because he was over it at that press conference.
He was
first night on Netflix. He was over it, and I don't know
over what, the bloodline in general.
I think he's over it being the number one storyline because you also have to take into account.
Whose fault is that?
No, but it also has to take into account Triple H is very hate to say this to people who are fans of him, very egotistical. And the fact of the matter is that a lot of the praise, a lot of the praise that he gets for this era is accounted for because of the bloodline. And the bloodline is not a creation by Triple H. It's just a continuation of something Vince created. So I can understand.
He needs to go in and he needs to create something to make something more meaningful. Then that you want something that's your own, since you're the one that's in charge now. Do
Triple H feeling a level of contempt or like underlying kind of, I'm
not saying like just overall like fatigue, creative.
No, not even fatigue, because there's legs to this to keep going. I think that it's more of an ego thing. It's an ego thing of how he feels about it, because Paul Heyman, Vince McMahon, Roman Reigns will get more credit for the bloodline storyline than he ever will. And if that's your number one storyline, and you're gonna keep going with that for years and years to come, then you're basically admitting that, oh, for years and years to come, someone else is going to get the credit, not you. And this is the same guy who starts off every big show that they do. He wants the credit. He wants the credit, ladies and gentlemen. So I can understand there's a level of contempt towards the bloodline. And but
also, I remember, like, this is something I said a while ago where I was like, you keep relying on the bloodline shit. And then once it ends, it's like, what's next? Yeah. So, I mean, it's probably a good thing that probably something's being done now about it, but at the same time, I mean, I don't know. Like,
I don't know. How do we go from here? What are we gonna do?
Especially trying to come up with a different name. It's like that alone. If you change, you should have done that to begin with. If that was the thing, like, you're gonna change their name. Like, there's not Roman's bloodline anymore. Should have done that to begin with, and now you're trying to, like, I think that hurts it even more. Like the fact that you were already bloodline, you were continuing as bloodline. And then now you're talking about changing the name. It's just doesn't help the case. The only person that would probably benefit, like you said, is Jacob, because Jacob has been talking a lot more. Like, he doesn't sound like fucking the Hulk. Now he has like normal sentences, which I'm kind of glad that he's been doing. He's been cutting promos. Like, I know, like, his King Kong and Godzilla line. It's not nothing new. He did it in MLW, but it still works. It still works. And I'm like, go with what he's familiar with. And I want to see that more, because when people are saying like, oh, he's going to be the star, this for me is like, I want him to talk more, because you talk more and, you know, you present it more, then I could believe you being the star. And now they're kind of going that direction where he's talking more, because Solo hasn't even been seen since, and it's just him. Like, and
if you want to help them, they gotta pull the trigger fast on this. Like, they gotta have Jacob Fatu turn on Solo. Like, the only way you could turn the tide for both, for the bloodline, for this faction of the bloodline as well as Solo, you got to have him be turned on by the rest of the guys, make him a sympathetic babyface, and that can give him a big matchup for WrestleMania of Solo versus Jacob.
Yeah, because even right now, like, I know they're talking about doing all that stuff, and, like, you know, Roman hasn't even been seen since the Netflix episode, so it's like, right? Right now he's a non-factor until, I guess, Rumble, because he's gonna show up at the Royal Rumble. So I mean, Even
He'll
with
be on
that,
Raw.
it's
He's
like,
supposed to be on Raw this week as well.
yeah. So he has like the what's that thing called again? That necklace shit. He has that, but then it's like what does that mean now? Going for, like, what does that mean? Like he's just one motherfucker by himself. Like I don't know, like because everybody else is doing their own thing right now. Like Jimmy doing Jimmy main eventing. Wow, he main evented SmackDown. I don't know how. That's kind of insane to me.
Event Jimmy
like,
Uso.
What is this? I'm like, yo, stop.
And then his brother,
no eat. No.
And then his brother is probably gonna main event Saturday night, right? Saturday night main event. Like, I mean, they're doing their own shit right now, and Sammy's doing like Sammy stuff. Like Sammy's just being kind of weird at the moment himself.
Nah, Sammy's the most important one out of them.
He was the main character.
I mean, like as in like story wise right now, like what Sammy's doing, like he's doing like the program with like Seth and all that stuff. Like that's the thing because they're leading to the Royal Rumble.
The Mick Foley of it all.
Yeah, so it's like even with Roman being involved, is like where do you go from that? Like he has the thing, but then they go into the Rumble, and then even that factor, I think that's going to factor in like if he wins the Royal Rumble, because I'm kind of leading with Roman winning the Royal Rumble. I mean, that's just me. So,
well, Chase let us know in the chat that Seth Rollins is currently the betting favorite for the Royal Rumble. What company is that? Because I think they kind of mental. Yeah, they're kind of mental for that because that's insane. You got Seth Rollins winning the Royal Rumble. That motherfucker is not even like top 3. He's like number 4, 5, or 6. And you got to have him win the Royal Rumble? Get the fuck out.
I'm harsh.
Get the fuck out.
It's this nigga over here. Over there.
Well, we got.
I'm just calling it like it is. Seth Rollins is never going to be the top star. When you got the Royal Rumble with Punk, you got it with Roman, you got it with Cena. You talking about Seth Rollins going to win the Royal Rumble again with all those guys in it? Get the fuck out of here.
We got a Saturday night's main event update, according to a report
house
from
show this is gonna be.
According to a report from Sportskeeda's Dr. Chris Featherstone, Hulk Hogan is going to miss tonight's show, Saturday night's main event in San Antonio. He was previously scheduled to appear. The reason is said to be family commitments. Hogan's last WWE appearance.
Just had a baby, please.
You know that's a lie. He hates his family. That's a lie.
You know,
his daughter just had twins.
No, the daughter. She just had a baby. She had babies. Yeah, she had twins. I'm sorry. Yes.
Oh, she had twins. Oh.
Yeah, Hogan's last WWE appearance.
So who's the? Oh, you know what's funny? I was about to say that because it's good that Krssi said it because I don't think it'll come right if I was to say it.
Where Hogan was booed out the building by the Los Angeles fans. CM Punk mentioned him this past Monday, noting that he would throw his dusty ass over the top if he were in the Royal Rumble. Fightful Select reports that Punk's line about Hogan was not scripted. However, Punk didn't have any heat over it. In fact, people were laughing about it backstage. A new report has a bit more detail because Hogan is a sponsored partner. He's not just a WWE Hall of Famer anymore. So usually that would lead to some heat. A new report has a bit more detail on why Hulk Hogan is not set for Saturday night's main event this weekend. PW Insider reports that the previously reported family commitment is his son's Nick's wedding, which takes place this weekend. WWE Hall of Famer, fuck Nick Hogan, by the way. For WWE Hall of Famer, Jesse Ventura, don't kill any black people. Jesse Ventura is set to make another appearance at this week's Saturday night's main event. Ventura was part of the live broadcast at last month's show. He also did broadcast commentary work for the Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens main event. Ventura hyped up his appearance, saying on Twitter, "So very excited for Saturday night's main event this weekend in San Antonio. The body returns to Texas this Saturday night."
I mean, that's a good thing that Hogan's not showing up because Jesse's gonna say how he feels. So I think it's a good thing that you're not putting them on the same night. That's a good thing. But I mean, nobody wants to see Hulk Hogan. Who gives a fuck? Like, I don't want to see.
No one wants to see Hogan at this point. Hogan is on the shit can. But I love the fact that when people saw, Hogan's not gonna be on Saturday Night Main, yeah, WWE made the right choice. See, guys, they listened to us.
No, they didn't. No, they fucking didn't because they're still using excuses.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
No,
Exactly.
like
It's a family thing, guys. It has nothing to do with you.
They really would try to have that nigga there. Damn.
Chuck Berries with a super chat donation. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries. He says last night on SmackDown they showed Tony Hitchcliffe on Celebrity Row and seemingly got no response. WWE, the company they keep SMH. If you know, you know. I don't even know who Tony Hitchcliffe is. Do y'all know who Tony Hitchcliffe is? Okay. As long as we're all on the same page of not knowing
last
who Tony
night
Hitchcliffe
on SmackDown.
So,
yeah, Tony.
Thank you so much, Chuck Berries. For
was
the
he
super
next
chat
to
donation. We got another super chat donation. I think you're muted, Krssi. We got another super chat donation from Chuck Berries.
Okay. I'm about to say.
Well.
I thought
he says,
was he sitting next to Matthew
Graves ought to be happy that he's over at NXT and not this corny SmackDown show. I feel so bad for Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett some weeks. This shit is just overly long and not very well paced. That's why I corrected Josh when he was like, he didn't think Monday show was paced. No, Monday show was very well paced. It was actually one of the better paced Raw on Netflix show. SmackDown, if you want a show that's not well paced, watch that.
Oh, I mean, that wasn't either, but I don't know about.
I can't hear y'all. I don't know.
What the fuck? You sure?
Can y'all hear each other?
I can hear.
Y'all can hear each other.
You. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear Krssi. Okay. I can hear Krssi. I can hear Krssi. Like here, I can hear you. I can hear both of you guys.
I hear both of you. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, you know.
What about the chat? Does the chat hear us? Because
right. Yeah. Let us know. Put.
I don't think I did anything.
Right.
So I hope the chat could hear us. I mean, they're just talking shit right now in the chat. I think said Tony is a comedian that Trump. Oh God! Oh God! No wonder. That's who that guy was. Oh.
Maybe because Baby Seth just left. Probably could be.
Oh, he did leave. Yeah.
Okay, now I can hear y'all. Now I can hear y'all. As long as I.
So that's who it was. So that
was yeah.
So basically, that was Kill Tony. That basically that's who that was. He was the one that was at. Yeah, so he was the one that made the stupid joke at the RNC about Puerto Ricans, about the trash.
Oh, he was at the show last night. Well, then I don't give a fuck who that nigga is because I didn't give a shit.
Yeah, I mean, he's never been funny to me, and that
we're
whole
not
thing
talk
he
about
did.
those type of things here.
Yeah, I was just like,
yeah, I feel like it's like a rabbit hole that I just don't want to go down.
But then also, I think people got to realize WWE is they're right wingers. I think fans just need to
Linda
accept
McMahon was right in the back, right next to Elon Musk and them. I don't know if y'all saw it.
They're very Republican. Like if y'all didn't know WWE, like for all the boos that Hulk Hogan got, if it's anything to do with Hulk Hogan being at the Republican National Convention, there's a couple of more people to be booing in WWE right now.
Yes, because a lot of them do support him.
Yeah, so
a lot of the wrestlers support him. Just, I mean,
yeah, and I mean, yeah, he didn't get a reaction at all. That's made it funny. The guy yesterday, he didn't get a reaction. Because even I was wondering, like, who the fuck is that? And like now, I was like, oh, it makes sense. He's one of those comedians that he's not that important, so you don't not recognize him by face. Like Dave Chappelle, that's Dave Chappelle. I know that motherfucker. I don't know that guy. Like,
and we got one final super chat donation here from Bell. Thank you so much, Bell, for the support. See, just want to say I was on the floor at the sight of KO wearing Naomi's shirt to beat Jimmy Uso's ass. There you go. Show some love there. Yeah, KO hit a frog splash off the apron onto Jimmy Uso.
I mean, it was funny,
and told him to feel the glow.
It was mad funny, but then I was like, wait, Naomi got a shirt? I didn't know that.
I had no clue. Speaking of Naomi, her person that she replaced as WWE Women's Tag Team Champion may be on her way back. PW Insider reports that Jade Cargill has been spotted at the WWE Performance Center. She was there earlier this week, and she expected to be there for the entire week. Cargill has been absent from WWE TV since November and was written out of storylines with an on-screen attack, so it seems she is on her way back soon. So, what do you think? Do you think we get Jade Cargill back in the Royal Rumble next Saturday?
Yeah, she'll be there. I think
you would hope so.
You would hope so. I mean, she's been gone for so long. Like, she's going to get the same reaction she got when she came in last year and debuted. Because that's what she debuted.
I will say, They have not done a very good job of playing up the attack.
Oh,
like
not at all.
It's like they forgot.
Not at all. I think it got to a point that people forgot.
Yeah,
people were like,
about it.
And I think somebody made I started dying because somebody made like a tweet saying like it's been like 100 and something days since we had any type of update on like the mystery of who attacked Jade Cargill. Like kind of like they're kind of painted off like a mystery, like kind of like a detective kind of thing. And I was like, damn, it's been that long. Like they haven't followed up with that at all.
But yeah, it's very, very strange how they've done that angle and the New Day heel turn. Very, very strange.
Yeah, the heel turn is like I don't know what. Again, something that they didn't have plans for. Like they just said, okay, we're gonna do this, and we don't have any plans of executing. We told Kofi to take off a mustache, and you look dumb.
I'm just gonna say it here. It feels to me like they don't care to follow up on stories involving niggas. Anyway, WWE SmackDown, WWE NXT this week, they did 812,000 viewers. The show featured Oba Femi defeating Eddie Thorpe to retain the NXT championship in the main event. Post-match, you had Trick Williams confronting Oba to tease a rematch. Tony D'Angelo beat Ridge Holland to retain the NXT North American Championship thanks to an assist from Izzy Dame. You also had Wes Lee beat Dion Lennox. Post-match, Lee called out Trick Williams after he slapped him earlier in the broadcast, leading to a brawl between the two. Bayley cut a promo following her confrontation with Roxanne Perez last week. Giulia came out, which led to Roxanne and Cora Jade coming out for a big pull-apart brawl between all four ladies to set up a tag team match on next week's show in Atlanta. And then finally, Lexis King defeated Charlie Dempsey to retain the NXT Heritage Cup. But the bigger news heading into NXT this week was about who was going to be at the commentary table, as Corey Graves has returned to work, joining the commentary team again for this week's WWE NXT. He was at the booth alongside Booker T, Big Joseph, and he says he is where he wants to be. He was not at last week's NXT after making tweets suggesting that he wasn't happy about his move to NXT. He later deleted the tweets, and by all reports, the situation was not some sort of work. So it seems that all is well for now between Corey Graves and WWE, but we shall see. We shall see. Another news note from NXT, Zarya took to social media to address concerns from fans that she hasn't been on television over the last couple of weeks and hasn't wrestled. She hasn't competed in in-ring action since December 17th. The absence from the rings has caused some fans to speculate on her absence. And she said, and I quote on Twitter, "Y'all are funny. Life happens and you have to take a step back for a bit. I've got a whole career ahead of me. 5 weeks isn't going to hurt. Have patience, little ones. And remember, I see all."
Okay.
So apparently she sees all the complaints. And then finally,
HBK not using her already? The fuck, HBK? Get back on TV, asshole.
And finally, TNA star Joe Hendry has been being teased to be one of the entrants into next Saturday's Royal Rumble matchup. A new report had a spoiler on that. PW Insider reports that WWE has been considering having a top TNA star in a Rumble match, and that Joe Hendry has been announced as signing at WrestleCon in Indianapolis over next weekend. Hendry was originally set to be part of the Chris Jericho Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea Cruise that weekend. The site notes that according to sources with knowledge of the situation, Hendry will be appearing on the cruise, but now will be meeting at one of its ports after Royal Rumble weekend and will be taking part in the back half of the cruise. That would mean that he could potentially be available for the Rumble. To be clear, this is no confirmation that Hendry will be part of the men's Royal Rumble match, only that he will be in town and available for such an appearance. Thus, he will be in the Royal Rumble match. Like let's
so
be real.
He's supposed to be at the Jericho Cruise. Is that what that
and
is?
He's supposed to be at the Jericho Cruise, but then he got announced as being at WrestleCon because WrestleCon's doing a convention during Royal Rumble weekend in Indianapolis. So he's announced for a signing there. Okay. So he's going to be in town. WWE just signed a deal with TNA. He's a TNA World Champion. He's going to be in the Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble. Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Only so many of these things could be coincidence. Basically, what I'm trying to say. We got in the chat here another super chat donation from Call Me Mr. Bonda, the #1 Joe Hendry hater, who says mediocre TNA world title run incoming. Frankie, and then he puts thinking emoji or our eyeglass emoji. I'm looking at you, Frankie. There
Put
you
the
go.
yawn emoji first. He like.
I mean, damn, yo, you trying to say that you hate Joe Hendry so much you want Frankie Kazarian be champion? I don't want that.
I think that's worse. That's actually worse, Mr. Bonda.
I'd rather get hit by a car than to see a Frankie Kazarian World Championship run. I'm just being honest.
God damn, Josh. God.
I mean, I'm not saying I'll die. I'll live, but just I'll get hit by a car. I'll do that because I don't want to see that.
Then you had last Sunday, which had 2 big shows. The People versus GCW from the Hammerstein Ballroom, unfortunately, was halted by injury earlier in the show. Ali Catch getting injured in her match. Look at her ankle. Oh, my God. Got injured in her match against Effie earlier in the night. This led to her being rushed to the hospital. This led to Effie winning and thus defeating Mance Warner to win the GCW World Championship in the main event of the show. You also had Matt Cardona's mystery opponent matchup, which was Tommy Invincible. Exactly. Which he defeated in just over 1 minute. Then Microman.
Anything because I don't know who the hell that nigga is, but okay.
Then Microman came out to answer the challenge, which Matt beat him in about 2 minutes. And then Matt's protege, Broski Jimmy, beat Cardona in about 2 minutes to end his run in the company. Goddamn, I want my 10 minutes back. PCO won the pre-show Rumble. Post-match, PCO smashed the TNA Digital Media Championship with a sledgehammer. He then cut an anti-TNA promo, basically announcing his departure from the company. Joey Janela beat Masato Tanaka in a pretty fun matchup. Post-match, Sabu appeared to challenge Janela to his retirement match at Spring Break during WrestleMania 41 weekend. Sidney Akeem pulled off an upset over Elio Del Vikingo in a spot fest. Josh Barnett beat Tom Pescott, a.k.a. the former Baron Corbin, in a Bloodsport match. Matt Tremont won the 8-person... No blood. No blood in New York. The New York State Athletic Commission says no bueno to all of that. The 8-person doors, ladders, and chairs opener to win both the GCW Extreme and Ultra Violent championships. El Desperados beat Team ECW's Super Crazy, Little Guido, and Yoshihiro Tajiri in a fun nostalgia bout, while the Garbage Daddies defeated Violence is Forever in a very good match to win the GCW World Tag Team Championships. Right now, on Cage Match, the People versus GCW currently stands at, I believe it was a 2. It was at a 2 out of 10. On Cage Match, it's right now the lowest rated major event of the year in pro wrestling. We're only 1 month in, so not that bad. And now, as of Saturday, it stands at 2.63 on Cage Match as far as the fans' reception to it.
I mean, sounds very accurate. I tried watching it, and it was like it's like watching. How do you describe this? Like,
it was so bad. I was entertained though.
It was like watching, like say like if I was watching like I Am Legend again. You know how they blow up the Brooklyn Bridge? It would be like watching that because it was like, what the fuck am I watching?
It's basically the People versus GCW was Freddie Got Fingered.
Freddie Got Fingered. Yes, that's a good one.
Yo, that's exactly how it felt. Because I was like, what the fuck is this?
It was very much Verdi Got Fingered. If you don't know, it was a movie starring Tom Green back in 2000, where if you watched it, you mainly watched it because you were a Tom Green fan, because you liked the Tom Green show on MTV, or you liked the Bum Bum song, and you watched that movie and you were like, what the fuck am I watching?
Yeah.
That's what DCW show from the Hammer side last Sunday.
It's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it was all over the fucking place. And then that main event, what the fuck was that?
That main event was like 20 minutes too long.
You guys didn't pay for it. It was like a stream that was free, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I have the Fight Plus, so you get all the GCW shows on there. So
okay.
It was a choice. The whole show felt like a choice, but somehow, some way, they gave us a show that stood on par with the last show as the worst independent show you will ever see.
Yeah, you know, and honestly, if I probably drank acid, I'd probably feel better about watching it. But man, like, it was rough.
It was so bad. Go back and watch our watch along, where I was in disbelief at certain points. I was like, what am I watching? Why is this still going on?
And what was insane to me? What was insane to me?
Yes, you did.
What was insane to me was that there was actually people who were saying before the event started, because it was Genesis and that show, there were people saying, "Hey, the GCW card looks better." And
they literally, when we started the stream on Sunday, our poll on the community tab had more people voting for us to watch GCW show over the TNA show.
And that's kind of, I mean, that's crazy.
And then after the shows went off the air, then more people started voting for TNA Genesis over it. So now it's on the poll. It looks like TNA Genesis was chosen. It wasn't like that when we started the stream. TNA, speaking of which, TNA Genesis was last Sunday as well. And the show featured from Dallas, Texas, Joe Hendry finally defeating Nick Nemeth in a pretty good main event to win the TNA World Championship. That triumphant win for Joe Hendry, celebrating in the crowd with the fans. Tessa Blanchard defeated Jordynne Grace in an excellent encounter in what may have been Grace's final TNA wrestling match ahead of her contract expiring, but it was Tessa Blanchard receiving "Your Racist" chants who got the victory here. Masha Slamovich beat Rosemary in a chaotic Clockwork Orange House of Fun match to retain the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Post-match, Cora Jade came down to confront the champion. The Hardys beat the Rascals in a fun match to retain the TNA World Tag Team titles. The Fraxium, the NXT Tag Team Champions, appeared during this matchup to set up Fraxium versus the Rascals on Impact. You also had Moose defeated Ace Austin in a good David versus Goliath opener to retain the TNA X Division Championship. Spitfire beat Ash and Heather by Elegance to retain the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships. Mike Santana picked up the win over Josh Alexander in an absolute banger of an I Quit match in what may have been Alexander's final TNA pay-per-view match of his career. And then we had TNA Impact live. It was live from San Antonio, Texas on Thursday. The show featured Joe Hendry defeating the returning Matt Cardona in a decent main event to retain the TNA World Championship after interference from JBL. Mustafa Ali made his return to TNA wrestling by interrupting Mike Santana and declaring himself the next TNA World Champion. Fraxium defeated the Rascals in a terrific bout to retain the NXT Tag Team Championships thanks to interference from Wes Lee, Tyreek, and Tyson. The Hardys beat the Systems, Moose, and JDC in tag team action, while Steph DeLander was revealed as the person behind the 23 vignettes, and she interrupted Sami Callihan, and then revealed that she got the Digital Media Championship from her divorce from PCO. SDL then introduced her boyfriend, who was none other than the former GCW World Champion Mance Warner, making his debut in TNA Wrestling, attacking Sami Callihan, standing tall with the Digital Media Championship. So good angle there. I thought that they They did that very smoothly. This was one of the best pivots I've seen from TNA, where everything that happened with PCO, they just naturally transitioned it, and pairing SDL with our real life boyfriend in Mance Warner. That's a great choice. Great choice by them. Well, any thoughts on anything from TNA this week? They had the Live Impact, they had TNA Genesis. Any thoughts? What did you think about Joe Hendry finally winning the big one, Josh?
I mean, it's good for him. It's just, do I feel like it's a little too late? I don't think it's a little too late. Obviously, the crowd's still behind him, and I think that with this whole NXT TNA partnership, you could have him show up again on NXT, and he has the championship. So obviously, that's why they kind of made the move, I think. So in that aspect, I mean, it'll be good for them. I mean, besides that, I mean, show was okay. Genesis was fine. That matchup with Tessa Blanchard and Jordan Grace, that was a great match. It was just, it's one of those things. It's weird to watch because it's like, damn, Tessa's so fucking talented. I just wish she sucked her shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I wish she sucked. Like, that's what I wish.
No, I mean, that's why it's frustrating.
Person. That's why.
Because she's a terrible person. She shouldn't be that good at wrestling.
Yeah, it's like, and that's because like that finish was great. Like that whole, like that was like with the code breaker from the top rope and the way Jordan sold it. That was a great fucking spot. Like, and we've been, like, she's talented, but it's just like, damn, like, I just wish her attitude was the same level as her talent. That's just what it comes down to, unfortunately. But besides that, obviously they're building up more of the NXT TNA partnership. I still don't think it's as great as people say it is. That's just my opinion. Because usually any business that WWE does with another company usually does not go well for the other company. And I'm still standing by that until further notice. So, yeah.
Very fair. Very fair. It's the Tom Green Show. It's not the Green Tom Show. This is my favorite show because it is my show. It's the Tom Green Show. Yes, I'm an OG Tom Green fan.
Bro,
we got
that was like, what was that other show that was on MT? The Andy Milanakis show? That was like ass.
I hated that. That
was an acid trip. Like,
that shit sucked. Oh my god,
that was a fucking acid trip. Like, yo.
Shit sucked. But we'll talk about TNA news. There is a bunch of news from TNA this week. A new report has an update on Jordan Grace and Josh Alexander's TNA status following Genesis. Fightful Select reports that Grace is effectively done with TNA, and most expect Genesis to have been her last date with the promotion. As for Alexander, his contract is up in mid-February, and he is expected to be finishing up with TNA soon. Gail Kim was the producer for the Blanchard versus Grace match at Genesis. Grace shared a message of thanks on social media along with a video of people backstage showing appreciation to her. She gets a standing ovation, a signed TNA championship, and is called the Forever TNA Champion. Finally, Alicia Edwards shoves cake into her face to end the clip. Watch the clip back because it's absolutely hilarious. Grace hugs everybody in this clip except for one person.
Yep. As she should.
It was so right. It felt so right. It's believed that Grace is heading to the WWE now that she had wrapped up her TNA run. PW Insider reports that Grace was at the WWE Performance Center on Tuesday, although she did not appear on Tuesday night's NXT. She isn't expected to be at the PC anymore this week. It is believed that WWE Creative that Grace will be part of the Women's Royal Rumble match next Saturday. I can't wait. I think Jordan Grace needs to come right to the main roster. No NXT.
Same.
No NXT.
Same.
None.
We've seen enough for her on NXT.
Yes.
She deserves to be in the main roster.
But where
absolutely happy for Jordan.
I would say probably SmackDown. SmackDown needs stars. And I can see someone new becoming faster a star there than on Monday Night Raw.
Okay.
Yeah. you kind of give her kind of like the Penta treatment. Just have her have matches, kick ass, and beat people, and might do something for her. But you know, I'm regardless where she goes, man, I'm happy for her. She deserves it. She worked so fucking hard to get to where she's at, and you know, I wish nothing but the best for her.
Yeah.
See, now you got it. Now you're getting it, Mr. Bonda.
Yes, brother.
You're the same thing, but the right person you're doing it for this time. There you go. There you go. As previously mentioned, PCO smashed the TNA Digital Media Championship at the People versus GCW. PCO then posted to social media and said that he had issues with TNA management. The Wrestling Observer newsletter had more details on what PCO's issues with the promotion were. PCO's previous deal ended on December 31st. He had previously called it one of the highest paying of his career. He and TNA were in talks for a new deal and agreed to terms at one point. He didn't sign a deal, but believed they had a deal. TNA then changed their offer, which was for less money. They had reportedly done this to other talent as well, including Rhino, who decided to leave the company. He reportedly agreed verbally to the new deal, but hadn't received a contract to sign. He was called again and was told TNA would be taking back their offer and asked if he could finish up on Thursday night's live show in San Antonio. But he agreed to do so on December 19th, but never heard back from them. During a recent episode of Busted Open Radio, Tommy Dreamer, who was on the TNA creative team, said, "I was told what happened, and when I got off the panel and I was like, okay, guess he went PCO crazy, move forward and pivot. Not an angle, just something that happened. There were some in GCW who thought he was going into business for himself and believed he was going to build an angle for TNA's live episode on Thursday night. Those people didn't know he was going to smash the belt, and there are others who knew it wasn't an angle and had an idea of where he was going, but didn't know he would smash the belt. As PCO tried to bury TNA, the show cut away. He wanted to do more in his promo, burying TNA management and praising Scott D'Amore, but was told by GCW not to do so. He was told to say he was not a free agent and was in GCW for unfinished business or something similar. However, that's not what happened. I guess all these companies have backstage issues this week. Like, I feel like we've mentioned this about every single company we've talked about have backstage issues.
All of them. Every last one of them.
That's wrestling. That's wrestling for you. But we've made it to the end of what we missed. What a week in wrestling it was with the news and all the shows. Now we're at Krssi Love's favorite time of the show. Best and worst of the week. Match of the week time. Krssi Love, who is your best and worst of this week?
Best goes to Penta. Worst, Britt Baker.
Fair. That is fair. I'll take
it back. I'll take back Penta and give it to Jordan Grace.
That's also fair. That's fair. I'm going to go best of the week to Joe Hendry on winning the TNA World Championship and the Hurt Syndicate on winning the tag team titles in AEW.
That's a good one. I like that.
And then the worst of the week, I'm going to give that. I mean, there's so many choices this week.
There's so many choices. Yeah. I almost gave it Tony Khan.
You know what? I'm going to give it to Tony Khan and the internet wrestling community.
Fair.
Because he's part of that. So,
yeah.
Josh, best and worst of the week.
Best of the week, Kenny and Ospreay. Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay teaming up. I thought that was a great angle, and I look forward to them working together in that match at Grand Slam. Worst of the week, I gotta give it to Ibu. Sorry.
To who?
This I said, don't we not mention anybody's name? Just make it IWC. IWC. Just make it. I was trying not to mention anyone's names on this show.
I'm sorry, it just came out. I'm sorry, I had to do it. But IWC, but mostly that guy. Yeah.
We got a bunch of IWC. I love Chase saying best of the week IWC, worst of the week IWC.
Best is generous because nothing look good. Nothing looked good like in that. I mean, they're entertaining, so I guess that's the best. But man, that was a rough week.
Not a good look as far as that for sure. But now we got matches of the week where we give our 3, 5, or 10 for me sometimes matches of the week. Surprisingly, I don't have 10 this week. I numbered it down.
There wasn't that much wrestling. That's why.
I mean, there was a lot of. We had 2 shows last Sunday, which usually if you have 2 pay-per-views, that could give you 10 matches between the 2 pay-per-views. But these were not the pay-per-views for that.
That's what I'm saying. Go ahead.
So I got 5. I got 5 this week. Number 5 for me this week, I went with Penta versus Pete Dunne from Monday Night Raw. Number 4 for me this week, I went with Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre from Monday Night Raw. Number 3 for me this week, Mike Santana versus Josh Alexander from TNA Genesis, the I Quit match. Number 2, Hangman Adam Page versus Christopher Daniels, the Texas Death Match from Collision Maximum Carnage. And number 1 this week, versus Jordan Grace, TNA Genesis. You heard what I said. I said versus Jordan Grace from TNA Genesis.
Yeah, we're not disagreeing with you at all, friend.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure everybody heard me. I said that very clear, right?
Yeah.
I'm not even going to mention her name, but it's whatever.
I heard it.
Krssi, your matches of the week.
Number 5 is gonna be Jamie Hayter and
that was a good matchup.
Julia Hart. Thank you, friend.
That was a good matchup.
That's number 5. Number 4, Seth and Drew. Number 3, Joe Hendry and Nick Nemeth. Number 2, I'll give it to Obafemi and what's homeboy name? That guy.
Eddie Thorpe.
Yep, that's you go.
Namor?
Yeah, him. And then number 1, Jordan Grace. Thanks.
Number 1, Jordan Grace. I love that. Josh.
That was funny. Number 3, I'm gonna give it to Penta versus Pete Dunne. I thought that was a fun matchup. And look, they didn't have a story and they had a fun matchup, guys. It could happen, right? Number 2. Let me see when we get number 2. Number 2, I'll give it to Jordan Grace and the other person from Genesis. And then number 1, Hangman versus Christopher Daniels, Texas Death Match. Fun matchup, and I think it was a great way for Christopher Daniels to go out. He didn't want the attention to himself, and I think that's a class act for him. So, great career. Wish him the best to whatever he wants to do.
And of course, Krssi Love, our new addition to our best and worst and match of the week section. Moment of the week, angle or whatever that happened this week. That was a non-match that stood out the most. And this is why I didn't give them best of the week, because this is the appropriate spot for Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay's.
I understand.
Yeah.
That's my moment of the week. That's my moment of the week.
Yeah, for sure.
Just on that one. Look at that.
Across the board.
And then finally, we got our WWE Saturday night's main event, rapid fire predictions that we got here. Saturday night's main event starting at 8 p.m. Eastern time on NBC and Peacock. We got Braun Strowman will be going one-on-one with Jacob Fatu, a battle of the behemoths. Who you got, Krssi?
Jacob Fatu.
Josh?
I got Jacob Fatu.
He's not losing.
Unanimous. Jacob Fatu for the win.
He didn't lose.
We got the WWE Championship ladder match, Royal Rumble contract signing with Shawn Michaels, Kevin Owens, and Cody Rhodes. The question here is, what will the amendment to the contract be? I think it is whoever wins has to take down both titles. So there's no controversy, because I have a feeling that they will do a non-finish where one guy takes down one title and the other guy takes down the other title. So I hope that the amendment is that they have to take down both titles. Krssi.
First of all, I wish they didn't give him like the shop WWE belt, because this is just looks very like It's too brand new. But anywho, whatever. I'm fine with that stipulation. I feel like some way HBK gonna probably get stunned some kind of way. But yeah, I can do the 2 belts. But yeah, HBK is definitely getting stunned.
Josh?
I mean, Cody's winning.
Cody is winning though.
Yeah.
Then we got. Well, we're not asking who's winning. We're asking what do you think the amendment is for the contract? Because it's not. It's a contract.
Both titles. Both titles. I think. Both titles have to be me. I think it's both titles.
WWE.
Time to die for a W Shop title, I guess, right? Crazy.
WWE Intercontinental Championship. Braun Breaker goes 1-on-1 with Sheamus. I think Braun wins, but Sheamus will be back. Krssi?
I was hoping Sheamus will win, but they're gonna let that little baby Braun win, so whatever.
Josh?
Braun wins.
And you got Rhea Ripley defends the WWE Women's World Championship against Nia Jax. Rhea, of course, wins. Josh?
Rhea retains easily.
Krssi?
Rhea for sure.
And then finally, for the World Heavyweight Championship, the ring general Gunther defends against main event Jey Uso. Josh?
Again.
Gunther is winning.
Krssi?
Gunther.
Yes, I'm going with Gunther for the win here tonight. I will be here live tomorrow. I'm not sure what time, but I'll be here tomorrow to review Saturday night's main event. Shouldn't take me that long because there's not much on this show. But yes, join us for that tomorrow as we review Saturday night's main event from tonight. Hope you enjoyed the show tonight as well as AEW Collision. But this has brought us to the end of the flagship podcast. I want to thank Miss Krssi Love, Josh, for joining me this week. As always, Miss Krssi Love, I'll give you the floor first. Let everybody know where they can follow you on social media and when they might see you again.
Hey friends, you can follow me on the Twitter machine. It's Tru Heel Krssi Love. Other than that, it's on IG. It's Krssi Love _1, and it's just my plain name. Follow me and look at some of the videos that we review, chats, and that's it, guys. Thanks. SP and I will probably do Traitors once it's over, I'm sure.
There you go. There you go. Yes, we will. Josh, let everybody know.
JM Punk 321. 321 Twitter and Instagram, and I'll be back on what's the date? So next week is the 8th. I'll be back February 8th.
We will see Josh going on as a hiatus. So you could expect me and Krssi Love to go off the rails like we did last week, next week. When we're left to our own devices without Josh, we tend to talk about Traitors and Nickelodeon Legends of the Hidden Temple for like an hour of the show. So stay tuned for that. We'll see you next week right here on the flagship. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at Tru Heel SB3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Tru Heel Heat, patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat, $3 a month. Gets you exclusive content. For all the members of the channel, go out of your way to go watch the IWC Cooked video me and Josh did last night. We did it live for our members of the channel. You can still watch it now. It will be removed from the live page on our channel here and will be moved to unlisted because we're going to put it up on our Patreon for our Patreon members as well. So if you are a member and not a Patreon member, go out of your way, watch the video now before it's taken off. So we'll be talking more about the Traitors next week. Don't you worry, Chase. We got you, my friend. We got you. And yes, Belle, that's not really a question, Belle. She says, anyone think Masha Slamovich could be in the Royal Rumble, or is it just me? They basically confirmed that by having her on NXT last week. So it's not a question, Belle. It's just when is she gonna show up in the Royal Rumble? But that brings us to a close. We'll be back next week to preview and predict the final predictions for the Royal Rumble. So for Miss Krssi Love, for the True Jaw Josh, it is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. This has been Tru Heel Heat 313. What's the name? Dismissed Dentist. We are signing off until next time.
Laters.